Hey, what's up, Vooka Nation? Hopefully you guys are doing good in this weather. My name is Banele Mli. Happy to be here. I'm actually filling in, guys. The guys are running a bit late because of this weather, but we still start the show on time and we make sure that we give you your daily dose of positivity despite the weather. I always tell the guys that, look, when it comes to the rainy season, as well as the winter season, this for me personally is what I prefer because I can always dress up if I want to, and if I'm feeling a bit hot, then I can always dress down, so I get to choose. But obviously with the summer season, more especially if it's hot and depending on which part of the country you're from, but I know that in Durban it's hot and it's humid at the same time, so I don't really like or prefer that. But if it's winter, if it's rainy, I choose. Like right now I'm wearing a t-shirt because I want to dress down. I'm feeling a bit hot, so I can dress down. But in case I do get cold, then I can always dress up. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us this morning. It is a Tuesday morning. Who do you choose this morning? And it's going to be epic, man. It's going to be epic because we've got a crazy lineup of content that's lined up for this morning. And just to take you through some of the content we will be going through today, we do have two epic interviews, and one of them is my favorite topic because it has to deal with men's mental health. And it's a thing, guys, trust me, this is a thing that we all need to pay attention to. So I certainly believe that, in the household, yes, you do get, men, women, but in as far as men are concerned, it is vital that we talk about these issues on a daily basis to say, look, how are we as men faring in society? How's our mental state? Are we doing okay? And if we are, then I trust that the household will be in a good state, which means that the community and the country at large will be in a very good state. So this is why I'm so passionate about men's mental health, because trust me, this year I've seen it. I've seen how mental health can affect a lot of people. I saw it with people around me, and I do have a very good support structure. That much I will say, where my family is a very, very big support for me to be where I am today. And whenever I'm not okay, I know that I've got people that I can rely on. So that's awesome for me. But I've also seen that with people that have been, in the same space that I am, they don't necessarily have that same support structure. So today we're going to be having Tebogo. And he's going to be coming through to talk about mental health for men, because he is a dynamic radio host. He's a speaker, right? So this is familiar ground for him. And he's also in the advertising and brand space. But widely, he is recognized for his commitment to men's mental health advocacy, as well as innovative media leadership. So this is a dynamic interview that I want you guys to stay tuned for. So Tebogo is going to be coming through at 8:30 this morning, so look forward to that. And then the second interview is something that we know we should talk about, but we don't, or we shy away from, because it has to deal with finances, and we are heading into the festive season, and it's around this time of the year that most of us start spending a lot of money, and we can't really trace where that money went. So he's no stranger to the show. We've had him here a couple of times. So we're talking about Mtutuzeli, and he's going to be talking about all things festive season, how to plan for the financial, how to plan your finances for the festive season so that you don't get swept away by the festive vibe. So we know we've got the festive season, right? And after that, if you're a parent, then there is back to school. So these are some of the things we need to consider, to keep in mind that as and when we go through all of these things, we are planning a sound and secure future. So looking forward to this conversation, and Mtutuzeli is going to be joining us at 9:30 this morning. So hopefully you stay tuned and take some notes and apply this knowledge, because at the end of the day, I often ask myself that, yes, there is knowledge, and knowledge is readily available. In fact, right now, when we're talking about AI, we're moving from a search-based kind of internet to an answer-based. So, a couple of years ago, we used to search for something on Google, but now we type something out on ChatGPT or any of these chat models, and then it gives us an answer. So it's all good. But the question is, do you apply this knowledge? Do you put this into application? Because the only time you can see the results is when you take the knowledge and put it into application. For me personally, myself, this is something I strive all the time to do, to make sure that I put in the work and apply most of this knowledge. In fact, we do use a little bit of AI here in studio, but trust me, we do it in creative ways. But at the core, guys, at the core, it's the Vooka team. We bring our hearts, we bring our brains, we bring our passions, we bring our skills, we bring everything, including the kitchen sink and my dog. We bring everything into the show so that we give you a epic show each and every single morning. It's been a year, guys. It's been a full year. Not necessarily a full year, because next year, around February, we would have covered a full 1 year. But, guys, in these 10 months, it has been absolutely amazing. We do have our lows, we do have our highs, but at the core, we're starting to understand the mission. We knew the mission that we need to wake South Africa to positive vibes each and every morning. But right now it's starting to sip in. We're starting to understand the core of our mission, and I'm looking forward to that. So, a little bit later, guys, we're going to give you the news, right? We're going to give you traffic, news, sports, headlines, and all of that. We're just going to switch things up a little bit this morning because of the weather. And we're just going to flip it around. But the one thing I do want to talk about is a question, guys. I need to know from you, Vooka Nation, when it comes to your early morning routines, right? What are some of your breakfast boundaries? Okay, what are some of your breakfast boundaries? And you might be asking, Banelo, what do you mean? Essentially, I'm talking about what is it that you cannot stomach in the AMs? Okay, so I know someone, guys. I know someone, and this used to be me back in the days, but I know someone that used to drink Coke 6 a.m. in the morning. Right now it's 10 minutes after 7, and I used to be that guy where it's in the morning, I would grab Coke and drink it, right? But I'm glad to say that I no longer do that. But I know someone, or perhaps you know someone, that drinks Coke in the morning, or either on their way to work they grab an energy drink. So or even lightning water, like amanza no gas. We know those, that kind of water, lightning water. So the question here is, what foods or liquids do you absolutely abstain from in the morning? Like, you just cannot eat these kinds of foods. It could be for health reasons, right? Or it could be for personal reasons. But either or, tell me, what are the foods that you are absolutely abstaining from in the morning? It's a no-go area. And no pun intended, but what can't you stomach in the AMs? Let me know, guys, in the comments. For me personally, I've stayed away from fizzy drinks, right? Excuse me, I'm trying to make sure that I drink it at least after 12. Sometimes, yes, I might just, fall back and drink it around 11, but the goal right now is to drink fizzy drinks after 12 p.m. in the afternoon. So let me know, what drinks do you or foods do you avoid in the morning? Could be for health reasons or personal reasons. Let me know in the comments. And I'll tell the Vooka Nation all of your comments, and then we can share and talk about it. But for now, guys, we're just going to take a short, quick little break. And then when we come back, I'm going to give you your news headlines, your sports headlines, traffic that's on the road. And we'll start the show as soon as some of the guys get here. But it's epic. I love being here. And I'm starting to enjoy being in this seat as much as I run a lot of things in the background. But it's something that's becoming. I can tell that this is a passion, and it's becoming. So awesome, guys. I'll see you right now in a second, but let's just take a quick short break, and then when we come back, we will definitely give you your news, sports headlines. But you still would stay in my dream. Now you're back for more. Why you in my reality? My head closed the door. Even though my heart just won't leave. That was then, can't go back. Hurts so bad, had to block out the memory. We try again, start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off,
but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away so long. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same, like it in the worst way. You've been gone away. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away. 50, 11 days, 11 days, 50, 11. I lost count of all of the weeks that you have your way. Wouldn't pick a fight when you'd leave. Now you're back for more. Did you find the healing you seek, or did you realize that I'm everything that you need? That was bad. Go back. Yeah. So bad. Had to block out the memory. Yeah. Start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away.
Welcome back, Vooka Nation. You are tuned into the Vooka Breakfast Show, and I am Banele Mngai. For the first couple of minutes of the show, I'll be sitting with you. As promised, we're going to give you an epic episode this Tuesday morning. I know it's rainy outside, but we're going to keep you warm. So make sure you grab your cup of coffee, stay warm, and listen to the Vooka Breakfast Show, because we give you nothing but positive vibes on a weekday basis from 7 to 10 a.m. And guys, look, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's important. Okay. And secondly, also, we do have a membership right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Yes, a membership where if you want to support the channel, you love the work that we do, you can head over to YouTube and choose between 3 tiers. The first one is the Vooka Nation Bronze, right? Apologies, that's the silver one, right? And it's only R5.99. So for the Vooka membership silver package, it's only R5.99. And this allows you to get exclusive interviews behind the scenes, see some of the work that we do, ask us questions and all of that. And then the second one is for only 10 rands, guys, 10 rands. Buy us a cup of coffee in this weather so that we keep warm and give you the positive vibes on a daily basis. And then that's the gold package. And then the last one is platinum. Platinum is only 29 rands. So if you are not subscribed and if you are not a member yet, do the right thing and sign up and become a Vooka Nation supporter as well as a Vooka Nation member, because at the end of the day, this is a movement and we want to make sure that we take you along, we go along on the journey, you and I together, and we spread nothing but positive vibes. So let's dive straight into the news. The first news headline today is Zuma Sambutla pleads not guilty to Terrorism Act. The MK Party MP Duduzile Zuma Sambutla has pleaded not guilty to charges under the Terrorism Act, including 1 count of incitement to commit terrorism and 2 counts of incitement to commit public violence. The charges stem from her alleged role in the July 2021 unrest in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, linked to posts on X, which is formerly Twitter. So former President Jacob Zuma and other MK Party leaders attended the Durban High Court proceedings. So a little bit later when we do news recap, we will cover this story a little bit more. And second on the news headline, something interesting I didn't even know, but then the SAPS seizes abalone, which I'll tell you now in a second what it is, worth 3.5 million in Primrose Park raid. So SAPS seized 6,400 units of abalone worth 3.5 million in a Primrose Park raid, arresting 2 foreign nationals. The operation, led by Operation Lockdown and supported by the K9 unit, also uncovered drying equipment and gas cylinders. So Minister Dion George praised the bust as a key step in protecting marine resources and disrupting organized crime. The seizure aligns with global efforts under Cape Town Declaration and cites a combat environmental crimes and safeguarded endangered species. So we're going to unpack this a little bit more, but if we're talking about abalone, these look like these little seashell structures. And we're going to unpack it because when looking up this, I saw that it's illegal for one to have these, so we'll unpack it a bit later on. And then lastly, on your last news headline, the AMPD chief allegedly forged signatures to give Kat Matlala policing powers. That's from the Mazanga Commission. So Brigadier Julius, acting MPD chief, is accused of forging signatures to formalize deals with alleged criminal Vusimuzi Kat Matlala firms. The forged documents have Matlala's company's policing powers under the frame of public-private cooperation. This one is also an interesting one we're going to unpack a little bit later on. So moving on to your sports news headlines this morning, the official announcement. So Chiefs withdraw from Cup competition. Kaizer Chiefs have withdrawn from the Prince Mongashutu Legacy Cup due to clash with their CAF Confederation Cup fixtures. The tournament, rescheduled for 16 November, now proceeds without Amakosi, who were drawn in Group D alongside Zamalek, AI Mesri, and Zico United. Richards Bay FC will replace Chiefs, joining Amazulu, Njempela, and sorry guys, these names are a little bit confusing. Hotspurs and Day One events organizers expressed understanding, reaffirming their commitment to honoring Prince Ngomeshutu Butelezi's legacy. So I know Mo will unpack the story a little bit more, but the gist of it is that Kaizer Chiefs, they had to withdraw from this cup because of other commitments, and it looks like Amazulu will be taking their place right here. Okay, and then moving on to your international football, Argentina run riot in Cardiff as new Wales era starts on a sour note. So Argentina crushed Wales. Apologies, this is rugby. So Argentina crushed Wales 52-28 in the Principality Stadium with 7 tries from Delgado and Benitez, Cruz, Carreras, Delgai, and Grondona. Wales responded through Williams, Lake, Morgan, Murray, and injuries to Morgan and Wainwright added to their woes. A yellow card from Ben Thomas drew controversy but wasn't upgraded. The results highlight Argentina's rise and Wales' ongoing struggles. So that's it on your rugby news. And then lastly on your news headlines, no time for tests. Germany have only World Cup qualification in sight, so says their coach. So the Germany coach, Julian, says World Cup qualifications is the sole focus with no room for experiments. So wins against Luxembourg and Slovakia will secure top spot in Group A despite omitting Angelo. So he insists that the middle field remains in contention for future squads. Germany led the group on goal differences and aimed to avoid another slip-up after a September loss to Slovakia. So that's it on your news headlines, and hopefully you found value in this. So we're going to come back and unpack these news headlines a little bit later on our news recap. But now I'm just going to give you your traffic updates, just so that you guys are safe out there on the road and you are keeping safe, because as it stands right now, the road is wet, and as they usually say, guys, please drive safe so that you are safe out there on the roads, and also try and keep a minimum following distance. Typically, it's about 2 to 3 seconds, but when it's raining, increase that to about 4 to 5 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to give you your traffic news headlines for this morning, and this is designed so that you guys are safe out there on the road. So starting off from the first news headline, there are roadworks that continue on the R24 westbound just after OR Tambo interchange. The 2 lanes are closed with a queue stretching back to the R21 southbound after Atlas Road. So expect delays in that area. The second news headline is that on the N1 northbound, congestion is building after Malibonga Drive. Traffic is slow. Plan for extra travel time if you are heading out to work. And then more congestion is reported on the N1 north southbound before Dipkloof interchange. Drive drive safely through that stretch. So if you're leaving Soweto, traveling out north, make sure that you pack a little bit of patience and also keep a safe traveling distance so that you are safe out there on the roads. The goal is to make sure that you arrive alive in your destinations. And guys, please remember, speed kills. Okay, speed kills. So yeah, that's it on your traffic news updates. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, guys, we're going to dive straight into the daily bread that we always serve you on a daily basis. And the daily bread is designed so that you get your nourishment, right? And when we talk nourishment, we're talking your today in history, everything else that has to do with daily bread. So we're going to dive straight into that and give you that. So I see that the guys are here, full of umbrellas, soaking wet. Hopefully not. But yeah, so let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we give you your daily dose of positivity by giving you that daily bread. Just like Jesus said when he was making the Lord's Prayer, that on a daily basis, give us our daily bread. And this is what we strive to do here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, to ensure that we give you that daily bread each and every single weekday, so that your day can be filled with positive energy throughout your entire day. So don't go anywhere, don't change the dial. We'll be back in a jiffy.
Your phone, I should've known that time would show me your true colors. I feel I would play the fool. I should've known you would break our rules. I should've known you wasn't ready to be a lover for real. Would've kept it at a friendship. No bad things, no hard feelings. Now look at where we are. Restart. Put the guards on my heart. Welcome back to the sad girl. to get to know ya. 이미 시작된 걸. I'm sweet, I'm sweet, so sweet. Cause I'm my honeybee, you just wanna see. How do you think I'm sweet, so sweet. We kiss and I'm sick of
29 minutes past 7, still giving you the good vibes. Shout out to Mr. B, man, for holding it down for us right there. But with that being said, very good morning. And of course, man, it is that energetic start to your day. I know the conversation have been going on, and we just came in just to join in, right? Just to give you the sentiments and add on what we really think, because interesting conversations is what we aim to do each and every morning, right? Wherever you are, wherever you're listening from and watching, I hope that this morning, has you and is treating you the way that you want. But with that being said, before the break, very interesting conversation and a topic that was being discussed, and got to caught on some, because I also want to share in terms of what is it that I can't stomach in the AMs, especially when you wake up, right? We know that a lot of people, there are things that they avoid in the morning, to just consume, because they feel like it's not part of the morning routine. It's not part of what makes me keep going, right? What is it that gives you energy? And what are some of the things that you cannot, like I'm saying, that you cannot eat in the morning? Like, they are prohibited. Even if you have a partner, even if you have a brother or siblings out there, what is it that you think they should not stomach? I mean, there's someone out there that you live with, and they always, eat things in the morning that you do not agree with. What is that? The conversation still continues. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show is the hashtag to use right there on the comment section. Or you can send your voice note through by using the number 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. Can't wait to hear from you, because I also want to hear, from my favorite Vooka mates right here in the studio to say, what is it that you can't stomach in the AMs? Especially, we've just woken up right now, and we are ready to kickstart this beautiful Tuesday. Choose you, choose me, or choose anyone who's out there, right?
Choose you,
and choose me.
That's funny.
Let's choose each other. But I think just to give maybe a smaller sentiment in terms of what is it when yourself that is prohibited to eat in the morning, or what is it that you can't stomach in the morning?
I mean, look, generally, I'm not a breakfast person. I don't really eat in the morning. Yeah. As such, I get up, I get ready, and I go. Yeah. So I don't think I would have things that I don't eat in the morning. I mean, I remember when we started out months ago. Yeah. We were talking about our favorite dishes and stuff like that. And shout out to Kitty wherever she is. Hey, Kitty and Kitty said she eats pap and voros in the morning. Look, I'm not against it, because I have done it myself. Come on. Papa guys, I think we can all agree. We can. And Papa Elele is very tasteful, especially when you warm it up and stuff like that. So, Mr. Mo, now sitting here trying to think about it, what can't I eat in the morning? Nah, man, I don't think I have anything.
So you eat anything in the morning?
I would wake
anything up that's available you can eat in
Mr.
the morning.
B, I don't know.
Nyama yenhloko.
Go coach. Coach.
7 a.m., 6 a.m. you wake up. What is it that is prohibited? I mean, pap, guys. I mean, yes, that's why I was saying yesterday, now when I'm not going anywhere, pap hits different for me. But if I'm coming here, trust me, like, I'd rather not
can have a stiff I
can't. That's too much for me. That's too much. Like, I can't take it, right? I mean, I think I'm some kind of choosy, because I remember every time my brother used to remind me, I'm spoiled, right? Because if it's not pap, but if kibega, hi,
oh, if so Papa, you wouldn't eat in the morning, but
if it's Bega,
you would eat in the morning.
Bega, I will. Like junk food, that's nice, right? I would. But chips, I would never. In the morning, I would never do that to myself. Like, I can't eat like chips in the 8 a.m. rather after 10 a.m. because I have this thing, man. I think after 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. that's closer to
you've
afternoon.
defrosted,
Not waking up with it.
When you've got, you don't really have anything there. What about the brown bottle?
Ooh,
brown bottle, is it? Banaba.
Ooh.
Hey.
Makamtelugu.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a brown bottle consumer at all.
Okay, so what I mean is like a man's okay in any form or fashion.
It depends. Here's the thing.
So go where, even if it's in the AMs, you can.
It's 5 p.m. somewhere in the world, Chief.
Yeah, but here it's
yeah, but it's 5 p.m. No, okay, but
I mean, speaking about our circadian rhythm, we know Guti, when the sun sets, our body's prepared to sleep and rest.
I remember we've discussed it and explored it a bit.
So now the question is, I know it's 5 p.m. somewhere.
Sure.
But here it's 5 a.m.
So what it would be for me, it would be context. It would be when, why, how. 5 W's and an H, basically. If it's a random Tuesday like this and we're waking up and we're not coming from that vibe, then I would be like, no, Chief, no, man. I don't want it after 12 man. Or
and then we can.
But if we're coming from that vibe, somewhere, and we're still on that vibe, then absolutely, Mr. B, I would still continue, man, because I have done it. Every day, guys. Get December every day. Since you're taking 5 since you're since kile Vooka breakfast show 19th December 12 next year. But yeah, man, I don't think there's anything that I wouldn't necessarily take or that I would take. Like I don't have because generally breakfast for me in the morning, I'm not really
a breakfast person.
Yeah, I'm not because man, no.
Yeah, I think also our body, it also regulates itself according to the settings that you are in.
Yes,
because if you are in a hotel, you feel like you're in a different space, and I feel like I need to take like breakfast right now, right?
Yes,
but when you're home, it's like it's a different city.
Yeah,
it's fine,
it is.
even
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I think that's the thing as well.
So.
I remember a couple of years ago when we were, I was working in Durban.
And
I was at a hotel. And breakfast, they felt like 9, I think. Breakfast or 9:30, and we'd make sure, guys, by 9 we need to be downstairs, enjoy breakfast, and so I think you're right. I agree with you.
Very interesting.
Yes,
so talk to us right there if you're watching to say what is it that you abstain from in the morning, especially when it comes to breakfast, something that you do not absolutely agree with that is being eaten. I mean, there are people, man,
or even something you should
eat,
abstain from.
But
you're doing it, but you should.
Coke, guys.
You
cannot
don't drink Coke
in the morning.
Come
on.
I used to drink Coke. I used to drink energy drinks in the morning. And
guys.
It's in generally
bad,
Coke,
man.
It's bad.
It's very bad.
It's really bad.
So why can't I drink it in the morning?
No.
It's not good for you, man.
It's not good for your health because there's a lot of acid.
Already it's not good. Exane food makes it even worse.
When Coke, then he goes on and drinks coffee. Like, bruh, what are you doing to yourself? But as mentioned, that talk to us right there by mentioning using hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show in terms of the things that you think people should stop eating in the morning. I know you have brothers, you have siblings, you have a partner that you wake up, with in the morning. With that being said, 38 minutes past after the hour 7 o'clock, and we're still giving you that daily dose of positivity. You can join in, and you know that you can also get us, connect with us throughout our social media platforms. We are Vooka Breakfast Show. Not forgetting the number to dial 0604933226, 0604933226. It is a Tuesday, the 11th of November. Back in 2011, the date was going to be 11/11/11, right? But right now it's 25.
Nice.
Yeah, it's 11/11/25. Right, so that is where we are. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's rainy, and wherever you are, in terms of if you are driving, please be wary of the wet roads. But interesting things that are going on, because we have been talking about things, right? and educating each other in terms of the things that we are supposed to not take and consume in the morning, right? I know some of you, there is what you consider as breakfast. There is something that you don't consider as breakfast. And that takes me to the national day that is being celebrated out there that I need us to just highlight and look into what does it mean for you? What does it mean for me, right? And today we are celebrating what we call National Education Day, right? We are educating each other.
Nice.
Right. With the breakfast thing, with things that you're not supposed to take in the morning, it's us giving you the education. So it is very interesting. You're asking yourself, what is national education? And according to you, what is education? Yesterday, we read a famous quote from our late former president, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Right. So, we can change how other things, were, I don't know how to put it, but the way they were said, because he said education is the key to success, right? But now we have found out that there are so many keys to success right now. There are so many keys that can be invented. Even today, we can also invent a key to success. And success is defined different nowadays. For me, coming here, getting here successfully, it's a success for me.
Nice, Mr. Mo,
right?
That, yeah.
So for other people, success means something that is different. So we need to educate each other. What is it that you think we need as black people or as human beings we need to educate each other on? Because there's so many things we need to educate each other on, right?
Yeah.
So this day speaks about that National Education Day. It is globally observed on this day as International Day of Education, celebrating the transformative power of learning and reaffirming education as a fundamental human right. Also in our constitution, it is there. Every one of us has the right to education. Do you have the right to education? Do you believe in the right to education?
Free education?
Free education? Is education free?
Supposedly so.
It's supposed to be free.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not.
But it's not. Fees must fall.
That whole movement, 10 years ago.
It was based on where's the promise of free education.
Yeah. In the constitution as it was drafted.
Yeah. Because in Zim, I've heard, not confirmed, but heard that they do provide education all the way through to tertiary, and it's free. But I'll say this, guys. I know people that go to a Southwest.
Okay.
So think about it. You can have a child go all the way from grade 1 through to tertiary and not pay a cent. So maybe that promise is somehow realized just a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, because in our Department of Higher Education and Training, there are college institutions where you don't pay anything.
You don't pay anything.
Yep.
Right.
And even in the university space, not all students.
Yeah.
But there's also in FSAS with the corruption that's going on there. But for certain individuals, they did not pay. So for them, it's true. But countrywide, not so much.
It's not like a thing.
Yeah.
It's not like a standard thing across the board.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff, man. Very interesting stuff.
It is. Because I think there is education. We can talk about it and debate about the kind of education that South Africa offers. Because there was a debate and there was a conversation about the difference between private education and public education. Like, what is the difference? Are you telling me that someone who's getting public education is not getting the same education as the one who is getting the private education, but we are living in the same country? Imagine us coming from school, you coming from that private college of yours, I come from a public school and private school, right? But we live in the same community, we live in the same area. So are you telling me that the problem in terms of being solved, your school is giving you different ways and views on how to solve that problem? What is the difference? Because a lot of implications, and things and factors that benefit to the difference, between this thing. Right, so I am getting a notification from Ms. Q right there on WhatsApp saying there is no sound. So I'm just going to ask if can you guys really hear me? Because but let's look into that. If there is a sound, maybe it's your device, but we are going to check for you if there is a sound or there is no sound. So thank you, Miss Q, for that. We're still working on the sound issue and trying to make sure everything is good. Okay, just got a confirmation that our sound is good. Please check your device. Maybe just exit.
You know, because some of the effects of this weather, they normally use the word septic, so it can, dumb us down a bit. So but just check on your end. We just double checked on our end, but so far so good.
Still on it, the National Education Day that we are celebrating today, established by the United Nations. This day, you're asking yourself, what is it that it highlights? It highlights the role of education in fostering peace, development, and equality. And guys, I think most of the things when it comes to peace and development, they might be natural things that we are born with, but it needs some little bit of education, because your peace can actually be, can harass other people out there. How you create your peace, how you develop yourself can actually cause harm to the next person out there. So you must learn, you must have the education in terms of how do you have peace and harmony for yourself without harming the next person, right? So the 2025 theme of this year for National Education Day is AI and education. Preserving human agency in a world of automation urges reflection on how technology can support, not replace, human creativity and decision making. In South Africa, in Mzansi, it's a moment to spotlight challenges like overcrowded classrooms. Where I come from, there were 62 of us in the classroom. The classroom was crowded.
62 man. Guys.
62.
One teacher.
Yeah, one teacher.
It's crazy. That's 2 classes, bro.
Imagine.
That's 2 classes.
Yeah.
Or even 3 if you're going to have 20 learners in a class.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's
because for me, I was shocked.
Sorry, man. The reason I'm laughing is I'm just picturing in my head if you've got like a white friend,
sure,
and you're explaining that, look, we were 60 in the classroom.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, bro?
Like that's
like 4 classes, bro.
I was also shocked.
How did you survive?
I was also shocked when I had this other girl we were talking to last time, because sometimes they just pop out from a conversation to say, for me it makes sense because we were 11 in the class. I'm like, 11? What do you mean? Did your school, been shot up with learners, or what was going on in your school?
Yes, that was the thing.
Yeah, so for us, we feel like it's abnormal to have 11 kids in the class.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, brother, you have to have 52 or 70.
I think I grew up in school. That's why it's about 2 classes for me. Because the 30 of us back in Princess Primary, even in Princess High. Princess High, but they try to shy away and do away with that thing. So that's why it's about 2 classes, more or less. That it's 30 per class. 60 more classes in one. I was gonna get very overwhelmed, man. Very, very, very overwhelmed. Yes, sir.
Very interesting, man. So National Education Day is what we are celebrating. What part of education do you love? Maybe in South Africa, because for me, what I love is the implementation that they're trying to do. Because I remember there was a time whereby the ministers, were sitting and just discussing, in the panel discussion to say, guys, we need to introduce subjects that are going to help communities, right, to thrive. We need robotics. Now, how do we now use AI in our own advantages in communities? Right? Because we have so many problems that we are facing in our communities, water problems, electricity issues. How do we now use, our education that we have been given? Because me knowing the number of locust legs or labeling a locust won't help.
It won't help you. That's so funny.
Like it won't really help.
That's very funny, Mr.
How many horns does a rhino have?
Hi, man.
You can't go there and say, but a locust head has.
Certificate. So label animal right now. We have labeled, every animal, but in your community you don't have water. But the certificates are hanging right there
on your wall.
Understand?
Even
so
on the fridge.
So that's part of the education that we need to apply in our community. communities, let's use the right education, right? Even teaching someone something, use the right education. Talk to us, use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, or send us a voice note right there, and just talk to us. So Miss Q Rams came through right there in the comment section saying it's okay right now, right? And then say, good morning, Vooka Nation. It was probably on my side. Hope you are good. Blessed day to all of you.
Hello, Miss Q Rams.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good
Miss
morning.
Q Rams?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hope you're enjoying and having a good Tuesday morning.
Definitely, man.
Tuesday for choose you or choose me, right?
Miss Q, what are you choosing today? Who are you choosing?
Me or you?
I will.
So maybe this week, we know people choose themselves, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
They should continue doing that.
Sure.
Choose someone.
Who are you choosing?
Yeah,
Let's
choose
start with
someone
you.
else.
Yeah.
Who are you choosing, Manat?
Myself.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey, man, you threw me, Mo. You threw
Who
me.
are you choosing? If you are coming with it,
It's always a
means
thing.
You must have someone in mind,
Yeah.
right? That
I
you're
have
choosing.
someone in mind, but I can't.
You can't
because
what?
I feel like
Akinama. Power. Why
I don't have the power.
Talk to me, Mr. B. Who are you choosing?
What if this person denies me? Because I'm scared, guys.
Oh, shit.
I'm
scared.
Why would the person deny you?
Mababheka bathi hayibo wena yini udaki
Why would
why
they
choose me?
No, choosing someone doesn't mean that you're claiming them.
I'm not your type.
People are blowing out of
Look,
proportion.
man, choosing someone means not that you're claiming them. For instance, I'll make an example. Since Miss Q is the one who's in the comments right now.
Yeah.
If I say I choose Miss Q, I'm choosing her for today or for this week, right? But it doesn't. But it doesn't mean that she has to choose me
In this
or she
weather.
has- Ay, Bonjalo.
Choose me or choose you.
Or she has to reciprocate,
Yeah.
right?
Choose me, I choose you.
No, you choose someone. Man, I choose you.
You know
Right.
why?
But they don't
For
have
me,
to.
because now it stemmed from us, having this whole choose you, like choose maskete.
Sure.
So it was a thing, who's your woman, who's your crush for this Tuesday? Who are you
Okay.
choosing?
Woman
because
crush
you have
Wednesday.
to, you have
the
to,
most sad
even,
crush
you
Monday.
have to even stipulate the reason why I'm choosing you.
Okay.
Is this and this, right?
Okay.
I mean, I get where you're coming from,
Sure.
and there's nothing wrong if
There
you're saying,
isn't.
you know what, man. I choose Palisa,
Yeah.
right? You choose a Palisa.
Also,
No, I'm just making an example. I'm just making an example.
Mo is choosing you this week.
So if there's a palisa that pops up in the next month or two, we know it started today.
Yes, definitely. If a Miss P
shit.
or a P lady or Lady P starts coming up on the chats
shit.
or on the on our social media platforms, liking our posts
with
and
me,
stuff
trust
like
me,
that.
you will never
do you
connect the dots.
choose?
Me this week, let me see.
Choose someone. Man.
Hey, Chief, mabitsa batatu.
Yeah, well, it's not as simple as you think.
No,
No,
Because you just need
we'll
to
come
choose a
back and
name.
answer that one.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We have to. We have
Because
to.
it has to be from the heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just from the mind.
Jay
Yeah,
fell
yeah,
out of
so
the
yeah.
blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff.
It
It's
is.
right about now. 7:51, Mr. Mo.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday morning. I'm hating the weather. I'm not liking it.
Don't hate the
and
weather.
I am completely. I'm hating the weather, and the reason for that is that
Yeah.
we don't even have electricity since yesterday. So it's been over 24
bad.
hours since we last had power, and it's just affecting my mood, the atmosphere, and just not giving, man.
Yeah.
But we're here, Siavuga, and we're trying to give the Vooka Nation. Hey,
Yeah.
man, Wawan. The Vooka Nation, their daily dose of positivity. Talk to me, Mr. B.
Yeah. So there is an interesting thing that we have to discuss, for today, because there are a lot of things that are going on in our country right now, and because we are here, there are so many reasons we have met, we have connected,
Sure.
we are who we are today, right?
Sure.
And a lot of people will describe that as culture. But till today, we still struggle. A lot of people still struggle with what is culture and how do you define culture in your own words. I have seen in my community, when you mention the word culture, the first thing that a person thinks about is being Zulu. It's being Sotho.
Okay.
It's being Motswana, right? So, what is culture? It's something that we are going to be talking about throughout. I know some of you are like, okay, you are interested in hearing from our side in terms of what is culture. You know, are you cultural orientated, traditionally orientated, culturally orientated? Because there is a difference between culture and tradition. Because I also believe that culture is formed, right? Culture is something that people form for themselves. It's elevated, right? So when you think of the word culture in three ways, what do you think of? If someone told you, you are not cultured, where you are coming from, there's no culture. Would you feel offended or curious to say, okay, this person has told me that I'm not cultured? Are you going to ask yourself a question, or are you going to feel offended by them saying that? Would they be talking about street cred, spiritual roots of where you're coming from, social codes, or can culture be shared with other people to say, I am a Tswana person, I know a little bit about Tswana culture, let me invite you into my world. Let us explore what my culture has to say about a certain things. Because you go around, you meet certain people, and they will tell you that in my culture, we are not supposed to practice this, we are not supposed to do this. Not in my culture, we are not supposed to kiss on a first date. In my culture, we are supposed to kiss on a first date. Can culture be shared? Is it something that you are born into, right? Because we are born into these cultural orientated families, then you are taught culture, right? When someone questions your culture, are they ignoring your lived experience? Right? It's something that we're going to be exploring and talking about. We're just introducing it because I know maybe some of you have a little bit of what you want to share about what is culture. Because culture is what we see, change each and every month, each and every year, right? In our streets, in our families. I mean, even our families, they're like, those things are olden things, right? If you live in the modern times, you need to practice what is being done in the modern times. Culture, culture limits. Understand? So it's what people always experience to say, where I'm coming from, it's different to what I'm seeing now.
So let me give a definition. And this is just a dictionary definition of what culture is. Right? Flies are part of our culture, right, in the township, because we know Guti Tampa. Hey man, it's everywhere. So flies are part of our culture. But anyway, the definition reads as follows: that culture is the ideas, the customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. Right? Maybe we can reduce it down to family, or even down to you as an individual. But I'll read this again, that it is the ideas, number one, in your head, the customs, how you do things, and social behavior of a particular people or society, a family or an individual. So this is what culture is. So everyone has a culture. Can we agree? Question is, what kind of culture? Or even a shared culture. But that's the definition of what a culture is.
I mean, it can be toned down and be put in different ways, because now the real question is, can culture be preserved, right? And if it can be preserved, what kind of ways can we preserve culture? If someone speaks in a certain way, if now you move into a certain place, do you preserve the culture that you were born into, that you were into, or now you adapt into a new culture? Because we have heard of what we call Western culture.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
That most of our people have been infiltrated by the Western culture. You guys, right? I don't know if you have been told that. But for you, culture, is it something that you're following? Are you a cultural person?
So I think I love how Mr. B just gave the definition, right? And what it does is it challenges, I think, one's view on what culture is. And I think the context also plays quite a huge role, Mr. Mo. So am I a cultured man in terms of the traditional sense? Not necessarily. And I think because like I mentioned quite a couple of times before, that my family is this side. My grandmother is this side, and my mother went to school Momo Dobsonville with her siblings and stuff like that. So I didn't grow up going to Komachaying, Emakaya, the homesteads, So am I a cultured man in terms of the traditional sense? Not necessarily. But I know my family and I from time to time we do try and follow, as best as we can or to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
But am I a cultured man in terms of sekasi?
Yeah.
I think so, to an extent, Then it would also challenge on what I perceive as culture.
Yeah.
Because culture mokasi could be different. What I perceive as culture akasi could be different to what you perceive as culture mokasi.
Yes.
From Tembisa,
absolutely, to the east end, Soweto, to the south. I mean, there's these videos that are going around now on social media. I'm seeing quite a lot of them on Insta actually. Of Matita Ako Vale.
Yeah.
Uncle Vale. You don't have a member. And it's like, what are you doing, Chief? I don't have a member. I'm giving back to the community. Dude, what are you doing? So I think it's quite different. But at the core of it, I agree to an extent with the definition that Mr. B prompted there, that it's a social ideas, it's our belief systems, our moralities, and all of those kinds of things that really shape a certain culture. We have a culture, Ronamo, we know after 12, that's when we can start eating. We have a culture that between 6 and 10, we're not available. It's our culture because we know we're on air and things of that nature, So there's certain cultures that build depending on the people that come together and subconsciously build it and create it themselves. So we had a culture that we know after 10 o'clock we start cooking. You remember a couple of months ago, it was our culture. So if someone comes here, they have to integrate. I
think it was more situational, but I agree.
But that's what I mean, right? That the context of it, your environment where you are, the people you're with, really contribute to what the culture of that place is going to be. Right.
Sure. So it was a culture that was created.
Yes.
Although it wasn't more voluntary. But it somehow happened.
Yes.
Without us realizing that we're forming a culture.
Subconsciously, so we create those kinds of things, So if someone was to come here and start hanging out with us, I mean, Angie came like 2 months ago, almost, and when someone is new to a space, they have to integrate to what the culture of that space is. Right. Despite the fact that being a very traditional person or traditional man, it's fine. Yes. You do that, but here this is how we do things. Right. And it's quite challenging to really unlearn your culture that you've really been dipped into and relearn a new one, depending on the environment and the space that you're in in the time.
Very much so, because yesterday when we were talking about this, we know that Ekasi is also a melting pot of different cultures. So if one wants to enforce their ethnic culture, because there's also that topic as well.
Sure.
Respectfully so, yes, you can, but there has to be boundaries. But it can't be a thing of a blanket approach where you do it for everyone, which this is the way it should be done. Sometimes we see this when we go to a taxi rank where we know that people of different ethnic groups, cultures use the public transport. And because of that, there's going to be different languages. However, we've heard stories of individuals that say they were not being answered because they spoke a different language compared to the one that's used on the ground. Right. But Ekasi, I think it is a melting pot. And just before I hand over to you, Mo, so I remember, and this bothered me for a very long time because I wanted this to be true in my family. So we had a dining room set. My dad bought it for around 18 blocks at the time. Right. So it had one of those tables where you could extend it outwards. So imagine you've got guests that are coming through. By default, 6 people can sit there, right? 2 on either side and 1 on either side. But then you could unfold the table even more and extend it so that more people can sit there. But I tell you this, we never, and when I say never, we never sat as a family to eat.
Even
on
on
that
Christmas Day.
On that dinner set.
No, not even on Christmas Day, bro. Not even on Christmas Day. The infrastructure was there.
Yeah.
But then we just didn't have that culture.
Yeah.
Where if
You
it's
sit as
dinner
a family.
time, we have to sit as a family. We didn't. And this is something that for me personally, it's what I want to do. Where if I've got a dining table, guys, it's cut so good without watching Generations. Because we used to watch Generations where
It's cut on the cultures and
eating.
that was the culture
That
for
was-
most households. For most households, I think there's a lot of implications, contributing factors and variables, Mr. B, and we'll explore a bit later on, right? Because we have to move on to other things.
Yeah.
But background, ethnic group, race, skin color, language, all of those things contribute to what a culture of a society is going to be.
Yeah.
To what a culture of a household as a family is going to be.
Can that be changed though?
Can it be changed completely?
Sure.
Absolutely. But like I said, unlearning and relearning is not such an easy thing for a lot of people. Even for myself with certain things. Because I'm not going to try and exempt myself from that, right? But for a lot of us as individuals, unlearning something that you've been doing for such a long time and having to relearn something else is not such an easy task.
Yeah.
And I learned this in the arts. Because the artistic space, more, you have to be able to grasp concepts now, right? Director ba change spoko sa gagwe se motlela abare se akhotlwa this is what I want you to do. And you've been doing that for the past 5-6 hours or so in a rehearsal room, you know, or for like an entire week of rehearsals. Next week Monday ale bo abare le last week siyayeka manje ngifuna sifundele. And it's like, yo guys, I've already made my brain get used to this and do you get what I'm trying to say? It's muscle memory now, and it's not such an easy thing. So those kinds of things, Mr. P, really, really, really contribute to that. Yes, you can learn and build a culture in a family, in a household where Maziti 7:30 in the evening, we sit down at the table and we eat. We put phones away, we put devices away, and the TV is off.
Yeah.
Right? And Radula Raj. And then after like 30 minutes, ke gona re tla dula ko di sofeng, ngwana ba tla go ka moreng ba dlala di PS or play with their phones or read, or like a reading culture. A reading culture, right?
Yes.
A lot of families don't
Yes.
have that, but we've seen that the new age parents now are starting to want to have like a reading culture and enforce it on their kids. Okay, guys, we read in this family, or be an individual who is a reading person.
Yeah.
Might not be on a very regular basis, but try to develop that culture for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's very interesting because we have seen how other people, can encourage. Because a culture can be something that is passed on.
Yes.
If I grew up in a household whereby for us it's just do whatever that you want to do.
Yeah.
But now when you go to your friend's house, you see that things are different here. They do certain things in a certain way. You're not supposed to wear a hat in the house. I mean, that applies to most households. But now we are talking about cultures that we are used to, because some of us we saw our families not practicing culture at all, right? And now when you're in school doing cultural projects, things that we suffered in Nkosiyami, I suffered personally, because now when you are given cultural assignment to talk about your culture, you have no idea to where to start. Because Tina's Soweto, thank you maphalala. Understand? So now they ask you.
That's funny.
That's a culture now.
It is a culture, right?
So everyone's cultured.
Everyone is
But
cultured.
with your ethnic culture, that's where the question is.
Exactly. That's where the question is, to say, okay, do you really know your ethnic culture, like your
Are you a
cultural
cultured man
roots?
more?
Am
in terms
I?
of like Setswana or Sesotho?
I wanted to, but I felt
What you
like
said, who's the Sotho and the Tswana between your parents?
my mom, Soweto,
Your
dad,
dad, Motswana.
ke Motswana.
So are you cultured in either of those ethnic
Yeah,
groups?
so I take from both sides.
But are
because
you,
I
though?
went to school to learn about the Soweto culture.
Okay.
But now with the Tswana culture, I'm not well versed. I don't
Okay.
have that much information, because when I ask my dad some questions, Lena, he doesn't know, because obviously his parents, they did not even teach him some of the things. He just know because of, he saw from the uncles and his brothers are also doing the same thing. So they're like, okay, I think from where we come from, we believe this is how things are being done. But so many interesting things that they implicate this subject that we're talking about. But of course, as we still continue, you can share with us your sentiments in terms of what is culture according to you. Are you a cultural rooted person, right? Is culture a fixed tradition or a lived expression or a collective rhythm we all contribute to? Because there are so many things that we can touch on when it comes to culture, like your culture shocks. When you get to other places, you are shocked at how other people live out there, because right now you are not used to how they are living, right? Difference between culture, custom, rituals, and tradition, because sometimes we struggle to find a distinctive and the difference between all of those, to say no, when what you're doing is tradition, it's not culture. Culture is something different.
I think that's the other thing now that comes into play, like I said, the implications, right? That what's the difference between culture and tradition? I think there was a third one. It's culture, tradition, and customs.
Customs, yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, how do we differentiate between those two? And I think, I could be wrong, but I think to a certain degree or a certain extent, all of the three are, I wouldn't necessarily say mutually exclusive, but somewhat.
One is a verb, one is a noun, adjective, but they play into each other.
They do.
They are not, what's this word? But they equal each other.
Yeah.
Not mutually exclusive, not complement, but byproducts. Yes, I wanted to use that. They're more or less, for me, byproducts of each other, and I don't think you can talk about the one without considering the other two. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because what is tradition? What is culture? I remember back in high school, up until grade 9, I read arts and culture. Now, what do they call the subject now? We did arts and culture, I know, in my time. But now it's creative arts. Creative arts.
Yeah.
Right. And the topic of culture, tradition, and customs has always been a thing. You know. So that's why I say. And I think the way Rutilonga was that each of them are a single thing, separately so. And culture is just as a Tswana person, as a Zulu person, as a whatever person, ethnic groups. But now we've come to learn there are different cultures in different spaces, and there's just a whole lot going on.
So talk to us right there. What is culture according to you? And we will get back to it, because there is so much to unpack from this. I see Neliswa came through right there saying, hello fam. Sifugile guys, happy Tuesday guys. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show and hashtag Vooka Nation. We're going to take a break because Miss Q Rams also sent a very interesting comment right there. About a 10 minutes discussion, right? But 10 minutes past 8, there's a time. Let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we will give you your news recap. For now, don't switch the dial. 13 minutes past 8. It is the time. Still giving you the good vibes and giving you that energetic start to your day. Hope that you connect with us throughout our social media platforms. We are Vooka Breakfast Show. And the hashtag to use, it's hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. See some comments coming through right there. One from Miss Q Rams. Hello, Musi. Today I am such a beautiful, right? Okay. I have such a beautiful and outspoken child. My buhle bendalo. I am choosing my daughter, right? Why? I gotta give ngijagela ukufunda izinto ezirong.
Velo stone.
Right? So she goes on and says, my buhle bendalo, which is her daughter, right? Thank you so much for letting us know that today you are choosing your daughter. It's a very good thing, man, to choose your daughter, right? And then she also comes through and says, Musi, I choose you too.
Okay. Oh,
you choose me, I choose you.
I choose you.
Let's choose each other.
I choose
right?
you as well.
Yeah, man. Choose you, choose me.
I choose
Miss
Q as well. I
Yeah.
choose you. Kajiko Miss Q with my chest, with no fear of contradiction.
Aibo. Exactly.
You know those we shy.
This man
We
is
made
cultured,
it.
man. I love him.
I'm cultured.
He's cultured. He's cultured and he is rooted in his culture.
That's funny.
He does what he needs to do, right? Naomi, good morning to you. And first question that we need to ask you, who are you choosing and why?
I am choosing my lovely daughter.
Oh. Woo. What's your daughter's name?
Omiguye.
Omikuye.
Omiguye uJehova akanakujabhisa.
Oh, that's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
So you're choosing her today?
I'm choosing her
Nice, I
today.
love that.
She's my
That's
biggest
beautiful.
fan. I didn't know she was a fan of Naomi P, but now
Ooh,
Yeah.
hey, nice one. Very proper stuff, man.
It is very interesting that people are choosing, their daughters. I mean, it will come a time where I choose my daughter. I'm still,
How?
working
How long
forward.
can't?
I do have, right?
Because you stepped up.
Yeah, I stepped up and did what, no, don't say nice. Don't say nice. Don't say nice.
nice that she stepped up.
Inzima lento, inzima. No, but I'm joking because ngiyabona ukuthi you are starting to get in your feels to believe ukuthi what I'm doing.
No, guys, there's nothing wrong. Mo.
No.
We take a mohale mfethu. Ulibambele lahle lishisa. Ungasayi, usayi isifuba
cultured.
Ulithathile le lahle liyashisa libahambe.
I'm not
Muna
cultured.
kutiya, you must be a man of culture, chief. This is a culture now. You've stepped up, man. There's
Culture of
nothing wrong.
stepping up.
Yes.
Culture of stepping
There's
up.
nothing wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking culture and we're going to be diving deeper later on with what is culture because we have introduced the conversation itself. But with that being said, 16 minutes past 8, you know that we always give you your news recap in terms of what is going on, what is going to happen. So let me just hit you with that news recap. So on the first one that we have, EMPD chief allegedly forged signatures to give Uket Matlala policing powers. The Madlanga Commission says. So what happened is explosive testimony before the Madlanga Commission alleges Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi, the acting head of Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department, forged official signatures to grant policing powers to companies linked to alleged crime boss Vusiket Matlala. The forged documents reportedly authorized Matlala's firm to conduct operation under the banner of public-private safety partnerships, effectively giving them unlawful enforcement powers. Matlala, currently facing murder and organized crime charges, is accused of using these fake agreements to legitimize his criminal network activities. The revelation adds to a growing web of corruption unveiled at the commission, implicating multiple municipal and police officials. So what's next right now is that the commission will cross-examine Mkhwanazi next week as part of efforts to trace forgery, political protection, and organized crime infiltration in local government. The findings could trigger disciplinary action and criminal prosecution for those who are involved. And later, and we've just found out that he has been summoned to testify at the Madlanga Commission. So it will be very interesting to hear.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down, and he would not come to the venue. He will do it from prison because of the laws and everything that is taking place out there. So we hope to hear what will be the developments on this headline, and you can let us know what you think by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. So Kat is about to do what he is always doing, right? And I think the criminal network's activities that he has been implicated in, they keep on increasing
every day.
Right. So it shows that this man is a man that we need to, pay our most attention to, because there are things that we might find out and things that we did not know are happening in our country.
Do you not think
his 9 lives are ending?
But do you guys not think that him testifying from prison might also just compromise the whole thing?
I mean,
as compared to him being like in the actual commission, like live, like other witnesses, like about Daily ad hoc committee and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure. I don't know. There's just too many things coming up, and the unfortunate thing is that but I don't know how they're planning on going about it and not having him physically come to the thing. I think for me what it does, and this is something that I usually say, especially with us when we have online engagements and interviews with the different guests, it's not the same as having someone sit right here next to you. There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect that takes place in more than most cases. And I think what it's going to do is he's not necessarily really going to feel the heat. Because when you're in the room full of people,
you can feel
the
There's
heat.
latency as well.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
There's no lagging. Like it's live, everything is here. But if you're doing it through like Abo Zoom or Microsoft, there's a lag, and that will give you an opportunity to cook something. Like you don't
quickly.
understand the question. Next thing you're cooking. So for me, I just feel like
Yep, so we will hear all of the developing stories in terms of that, because he has been summoned to testify at the Madlanga Commission. We know also Brian Mohodzi, was also summoned to come and testify.
Yeah.
So those two, they are the ones who are connecting to, they're main characters of these syndicates. But let us know what you think right there on the comment section, or send us a voice note on 060-493-3226. 20 minutes past 8, there's a timer. And as much as we going news headlines, news recap, there's things that are going on in our country, whether it's social media, whether it's on the street. But there is the word on the street, and I want to know, what is the word on the street?
Word on the streets, right? A couple of days ago, I'm sure you woke up to South Africa being painted purple. I'm sure you were wondering, why does everyone has a purple status, or the color purple on their status? You've seen places in Rosebank, as well as Rhodes University. They've also implemented the color purple thing. In fact, even Mall of Africa has joined into the color purple thing. So if you're confused what exactly is going on, why do we all have the color purple on our statuses on social media? Well, it is part of the national shutdown, which is part of Women for Change. I'm sure you're wondering, what exactly is this? Women for Change, or WFC, is one of South Africa's leading voices in the fight against gender-based violence and femicide, which was founded in 2016, and they use the power of social media to raise awareness and support survivors and drive a real change. So what exactly is going to be going on the 21st of November, you may ask? Well, on the 21st of November, there is a national shutdown that has been called for by the Women of Change, where they call all women and members of the LGBTQI plus community across South Africa to refrain from all paid and unpaid work in workplaces, universities, homes, and to spend no money for the entire day, just so that they can demonstrate the economic and social impact of their absence. Now, the reason for this is because South Africa buries women every 2.5 hours. And the G20 cannot speak of growth and progress containing or, concerning these matters. So they've demanded that gender-based violence and femicide be declared a national disaster, not tomorrow, not at the summit, but right now. So what can you do to be a part of this, you wonder? Well, do not work, whether it's paid or unpaid labor. Also, don't spend your money. So that means you're not withdrawing from the economy. You're not participating in the exchange of money or in the economy for one day. Also, there is a 15-minute standstill, so you can join that 15-minute standstill by laying down for 15 minutes at 12 p.m. midday to honor the 15 women murdered every day and bring South Africa to a complete standstill. Another thing you can do, Mist.
Yeah.
You and Mist Mo can actually wear black to stand in mourning and resistance. So also change your profile picture to the color purple to make the shutdown visible online, and click on the Women for Change link to download those colors. And lastly, share to make this impossible to ignore. So basically, because of the G20 summits, right, there is nothing about femicide or gender-based violence on the actual program
of the summit,
the agenda of the summit. And this is actually something that requires attention, because if we are burying women every 2.5 hours, then definitely there is a problem that needs attention. So our government needs to address this and recognize it as, you know, a problem that it is in South Africa. So Women for Change is actually doing this whole entire shutdown just for it to gain attention. And now that G20 is getting more attention, it will get like attention worldwide, so that people know exactly what is going on in South Africa.
So, you know how when we don't have electricity, striker by blocking the roads, burning tires and all of that. Is this the equivalent but done in a much more
absolutely
strategic
passive
way? Because
yeah.
is a disruption.
Yes.
This will also cause a disruption
to the economy.
Strategically so, to the economy.
Yeah.
I don't know how
it's equivalent to that.
I don't know how applicable it is though. Or it will be on the 21st.
Not being part of the economy?
Yeah, just some of the things that they've put out there as ways of participating. Okay. Right. Like how practical is it?
Yeah.
For me, it is practical, because if we were able to spend COVID without, like, days of COVID without exchanging in money and stocking up and stockpiling prior to the lockdown, then definitely one day we could actually do that. So from now, right, you know that on the 21st, you have no intention of being part of the economy or participating in the economy. Fine, it's one day. You may say it may not really, you know, show much of a difference or change, but if you could stockpile now and do everything now before the 21st, so that when the 21st comes, you're not buying anything, you're not paying anyone anything, then definitely it will be felt.
Is it possible? Yes. I agree.
Practical?
Is the intention there? Absolutely.
Yeah.
High functioning practicality of it, I'm not too sure. Right?
Yeah.
Because the example that you use, I think also does not apply necessarily. Reason being is that during the 2 years of COVID and lockdown, and I could be wrong, right? But I think we can agree that the possibility of it having been structured and implemented from the higher ups was
made
a thing.
it easier for
That's
us
why by 9 o'clock everyone is at home. Right.
But imagine if we all stood together. Sorry to interject.
Thus I say, I agree with you. If we all would
stick together,
right? But how many people will say,
because I think
I'm going to take the 1 hour, and lay down.
This goes back to what they said, because South Africa is big on social media noise, making noise on social media, because we have a lot of people have, uploaded the purple status, and they are talking about it on social media, because that's what EFF noticed when they were planning a national shutdown due to unemployment issues and the crime rate in South Africa. And the reason it failed is because there are people who are like, amandla, makumele kuvuka emsebenzini.
Well, I get that, which is why I think to a certain extent, okay, I agree with you to a certain extent, because for some people, paid or unpaid work, you can't not work, right?
Exactly.
Because next thing your employer is like, if you don't work, I'm gonna fire you. That's fine. That's not the only way to be a part of it. So don't do anything that will be a part of the cycle of the economy. Now the question will then be, how do I commute to work? which would make it a bit sort of difficult now, because if you're taking a taxi every day or you're taking a bus every day, it's gonna be a bit difficult. But I think those things for you, we must be realistic. At the end of the day, you need to go to work, so pay for that. But if you need a pie at a garage, there's no need for you to be doing such things. You know, buying a newspaper, those things, try and cut off from those things. Bread, buy it the day before. Don't buy it. I know the bread companies are gonna collapse, but like what we're trying to do is for it to be felt somehow.
I get you. I get
and
you.
the
I'm
economy,
right there with you.
like imagine how much the township contributes to the economy. And if the entire Soweto township was like, okay, fine, we're not buying bread or we're not going to supermarkets, imagine how much they would feel it.
That's why I say the intention is there. The concept is there. I agree with it. The practicality of it is
not
is
everyone
what?
has to do it, guys. If 50 people were to do it, that absence of 50 people in our economy will be felt. If 200 people did it, it will be felt. So no matter the number, it doesn't have to be everyone, but if you can, then be a part of it and make a difference, because each cent counts.
So I've got a question. I heard you earlier talk about the LGBTQ community. Isn't this a concern for everyone? Why specifically
the community?
That community?
Because there is a higher rate of women being killed as well as members of the LGBTQI community. And rape as well. Because there's corrective rape, right? So most of the LGBTQI community are victims of corrective rape.
Sure.
Which is why they include it.
Yeah, because I think this also now plays a part, because there are people who are trying to come with their own scenarios to say, okay, guys, if women should paint this country purple, there are men who are trying to paint this country green right now to say we are also being abused.
Guys,
you understand?
There's one thing about South Africa that I dislike, and it's the gender wars. That every time a specific gender does something, then the other gender will pull out just because they're trying to do. It's not about gender roles. It's a pandemic that we are seeing every single day. How many times on Instagram, Facebook, X are you seeing, even on TikTok, help us find justice for Bani? You know, just last week we were talking about 2 women that were killed. No matter the circumstances, this week alone, how many of those women have been killed and they haven't been reported? You know, we haven't heard anything on social media. It's just an ongoing thing in parts of South Africa. Emma Famu, Emma Lokshini, Emma suburbs. Like, you're not safe. Like me traveling here,
you don't feel safe.
The level of anxiety of being a woman, I need to have a pepper spray in my bag every single time, because if I request a ride to work, I'm not sure that I'm gonna make it to work. And for me, it's even being in public spaces, Emma Mall, where you get people sexualizing you. You know, you could be dressed covered and then you just have someone sexualizing you. Being a woman in South Africa, number one, is difficult and very uncomfortable. So I feel like these things will actually make us have these conversations, and the more we have these conversations, the more we're able to change each other's perspective. That sometimes you might be joking about something. In fact, the other day I was making a video about adolescence, right? How I don't wear mini skirts. You will never find me wearing a bum short or a mini skirt, because I was sexualized at 13. You know, someone looked at me and saw my thighs and decided, okay, and said something very derogatory. It was very derogatory, and it stayed with me, that thing. So there is a culture, and I'm again not gender fights, all of that, but there's a culture where men seem to be grooming young girls, especially in your adolescent stage, where we are talking about your body changes, and it's the men in your community that make you feel that now I'm ready to be sexual because of how they speak to you, how they approach
say things to you.
So it begins where as a community we need to have these chats. If a child is 13 years and you're seeing the boobs changing or you see the body structure changing, you don't need to comment about that, especially not in a sexual way or a derogatory way. In fact, compliments if you can, to say, oh no, your body's not changing,
but not on a
in a way that is innocent, to say, no, don't worry, your body's not changing, you know. I mean, I appreciate that would approach me and be like, just because your body's changing, you know, those things I used to appreciate them, rather than men who would enable that behavior. Because if you're 16 now, we are jiggies and you know, and then you get people that enable that, old people that will enable that, of which those old people, it begins as a thought, and then they start thinking, and eventually they act on it.
And abanye bazothi siko, you know, to date young people. But you on the case of being a pandemic, it is a pandemic, right? Because I think people are looking at it at a surface level.
Yeah.
Because we have seen, when you talk about the criminal justice, if you follow the court cases, and each and every time when these court cases are being, televised, a lot of those guys who have committed those crimes, they don't have remorse, right? And
thank you.
Now, when you look the whole situation to say, what is the criminal justice saying about this? A man, killed two girls.
Omotoso.
You understand?
Got away.
He got away with everything that he has done.
And Cheryl Zondi on the other side, scarred for life. Because, guys, rape doesn't end on that day. I'm assuming it's a sense. You know, for me, I was mugged at gunpoint, and still I carry that every single day. That nicotine smell, it raises something in me to say, I'm not safe. So imagine if you were molested, the smell will stay. Every time you come across someone who has the same perfume or the same scent, you are triggered. It affects you psychologically. If it's a t-shirt, if it was a certain brand, like your t-shirts, every time I see someone wearing a similar t-shirt, I get triggered. So it's a lot, guys. And you're right, the criminal justice system seems to be failing us at this point, because if men like Abotim Omotoso are getting away with such things in a public platform, how many other rapists are really getting away with it?
So join the movement, and South Africans, let's paint South Africa purple, because I think it is a very huge pandemic, and this is happening a day before the G20 summit, right? So it also speaks on how communities can also have those organizations that deal with these crises in the communities, because we were speaking about how communities can also have summits, not summits, but groups like the G20, to say, okay, we select certain leaders in the community. If there's a child who's complaining about a certain adult, let's find a way to deal with that person. Because now kids don't feel safe, because they are, being harassed by the same people that are supposed to protect them.
Absolutely.
Right? So we hope that this movement is going to be pushed, and a lot of South Africans are going to join in, and let's fight this scourge that is happening. Just comment down what do you think. Share your sentiment by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, or you can send us your voice note on 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. 35 minutes after 8 o'clock. And what about to do right now to take a short break, because our guest is here, Mr. Tebogo Mokojane. He is a radio host, speaker, founder of Magenta Let's Talk. And I believe that there's going to be a talk about Amachita and what he really does, because it is mental health. I think it's mental health month for most guys, in terms of taking yourself, taking care of yourself holistically. So if you have a brother, now you're a sister, you have a brother, and you think that this conversation will be an important conversation for them, let them know about it by sharing the live to them. That being said, I want to ask Mr. Tebogo. You remember, I think it was about 2-3 weeks ago. When Bonelli Soa and Miss Queen, Miss Q was saying they want us to do that one day of having that very exaggerated caricature type of presenting. So we did that. It was on a Tuesday morning, I think, Mo and I. And so I want to ask him, why is it that this, to this day, especially on
radio,
vernacular
radio
stations, right?
They still have that's the thing right there. Msakazo wako mlaleli. Like what's the thing about that?
Okay, in the background we do have Umono and I.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I'm
To the
over
corner.
that
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's very nice.
I want to ask him
Very
about
nice.
that and see,
Yeah,
see what he
it is.
thinks, man.
It is.
So it should be a very interesting conversation. So do stay tuned in the time right about now, 37 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock. Still hang out with us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink-O Network, giving you your daily dose of positivity that is accompanied by an energetic start. So we've been talking for a good minute, right? And what we need to do, quickly run to the loo, grab a cup of coffee because it's raining, it's wet, it's cold, and let you and I see each other after the break as we go and pay our bills. Yes, sir.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, finally. I wanna be free, finally, finally. I wanna be free, finally, finally. I wanna be free, finally, finally. Finally, finally. I always stay dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark.
Great sounds is what we continue to give you on this beautiful Tuesday morning. And the question still stands. What are you choosing? Dirty Disciple podcast came through on the comment section saying, "Naki batla mogodu for breakfast." Amen. Enjoying the conversation, gents.
Yeshua Moraki, man. Hang out with
man.
us right here. Very proper stuff, man. Shout out,
It is.
shout out,
It is.
shout out.
Shout out to you,
Still
man.
hang out with us like Mo said, with myself, the one and only MOOCEE Mist. My name is Musi Mist, and I'm still excited. I'm happy to be both in your presence and in your company on this not so great Tuesday morning for me. Because firstly, electricity. Secondly, the weather, the rain. It's not giving on, but we're still here trying to keep the vibes going on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink-O Network, only and exclusively where radio meets TV. Like we said before the break, we're going to be hanging out le Obuti Tebogo Mojokala. Majokana. I'll tell you, I'm very, very, very wary and cognizant of people's names pronunciations, right? Because I know a lot of people struggle to this day. So Nalina Musi, right? And a lot of people will say Musi, will say Musi, will say, there's quite a lot of things. So growing up, I had to learn to have patience. Explaining about guys, Lina Lagaki Musi. To this day, I remember the last time I did it was this Sunday. I had to explain, guys, think of Musi my money without the my money. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So I absolutely get it. So thank you for coming. Welcome. Welcome.
Good morning to everyone.
Yes, sir. Let's get straight into it. Who is the Boho? There's radio host, there's amateur, there's public speaking. Like, there's a lot that you do. There's a lot of hats that you wear as one person. So, growing up, how did you grow up and how do you eventually find yourself getting to the place that you are in right now and being involved in all the spaces that you're involved currently?
I think I'll start with the question that you asked before you went on the break to say why ALS radio stations still do the way they do radio.
Yes.
I think it's how they were trained. They were cognizant of time. So, when you're looking at time, you can't be slowing down. And especially the news guys, if you listen to the news guy, sometimes they have a minute or 2 minutes to share a story.
Sure.
So you can't do it at a very slow pace. You have to go very fast.
I see.
It works for them. And a lot of people are doing it the same, even if some of our commercial radio presenters, they're still doing like that.
Sure.
So who is Tebogo Majokane? Normally I say I'm just an awesome guy from Kokasi.
Yes, sir.
Born and bred in Soweto. Luckily was raised by my father after losing my mother at the age of 16. So that's who I am. I was a very active sports guy, very active. That I had my provincial colors in road running, cross country, and track and field. I was very good in soccer. I'll say it straight. I was good in soccer. But I was a very shy guy when it came to speaking out and voicing out about my opinions. But Nigel out here very popular but speaking up was very, very difficult for me. But I was always there for other guys. And so Kopoleni Bambita Ace, and so you asked that. So if you know about Ace, not everybody got that title. Not everybody got that title.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
I grew up Kokasi and I found myself in the media space when I was doing standard 9. Not even grade 9 or form 4. Yeah, form 4. Let me just go. It was form 4.
11, yeah.
In my time, it was form 4 because I'm a 51-year-old guy. So I'm not 25.
Really?
I'm 51
Hey,
years
if you
old.
don't look like it. Shout out.
So I started with loving radio. So when I heard the likes of, firstly I wanted to do PR after seeing Abdul Bamji. So if you remember Abdul Bamji with Iwisa Kaiser Spectacular Go FNP Stadium, that guy used to get the crowd going.
Yeah.
And I said I want to get into PR. But when I listened to the old radio, the likes of Remo Kumalo, the likes of Treasure Shabalala, the likes of Bob Mapena, the likes of Kabzela, I said, I want to go into radio.
Yeah.
And that's how I found myself studying for radio and being in radio. So I went to radio to deal with my emotions, to deal with my shyness, and because nobody sees you in radio. So and I was amongst the first group of guys that went for interviews go I. But I didn't get in. So if you know the original lineup here, YFM, you'll understand. It was a very powerful lineup.
It was.
And I didn't have any radio experience, and I was given 5 minutes to give 3 links, and I was clueless.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I went on, trained on radio, and decided to go into radio. Yeah.
Very interesting.
It is interesting.
Completely more.
It is very interesting, man. You know, the journey of who you are, because I kind of see myself in you, because I'm someone who doesn't speak a lot. And there was a conversation I had with one other guy last year to say, I mean, for you, man, why are you doing this? And he was like, for me, this is therapy. You know, I mean, I get to talk about things that I can't talk with other people, right? And this is a platform whereby people understand why you are here, and you get to share different stories with people. But just to invite you on the conversation, because you are someone who is the founder of Magents.
Yes, Magents Let's Talk. Yes.
Right? Let's talk about the organization. What really inspired you to found the
Magents Let's Talk is very close to my heart.
Yeah.
As I said in the beginning, I lost my mother when I was 16.
Yeah.
And my dad was 35 years old. And my mother was 33 when she passed on.
Yeah.
And I saw myself breaking a lot because the same year I lost my mother, I lost my grandmother. And I only had 2 guys with me, which was my dad and my uncle. But because they were raised not to say anything about death or even ask me to say, grand out. One day I remember I came and standing outside, didn't know what to do. My mind was all over. And my uncle came to my grand, and I broke down. And they couldn't understand why. So I then saw my dad breaking down growing up.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was a guy that was very close to my mother. He has a girlfriend and a boyfriend. Whereby I store bamba by 2, I taking pasta bamba by 2.
Everything they do together.
Yeah. And when this one passed on, this one felt a huge void. But we never sat down little time and say, Endota, immediately seko. When odila seko. So how are you dealing with this?
Yeah.
And I saw my dad moving from a guy to drinking tea. I saw my dad moving from a guy who didn't drink much to drinking at least 2 beers per day.
Yeah.
But he was alone and nobody actually supported him emotionally. And I said, you know what? How many guys like my father are suffering? And I said, my gents, let's talk. Let's open up about our emotions.
Yeah.
Let's meet and engage. So when I started my gents, let's talk, I focused on Amachita.
Yeah.
Older guys from 25 upwards.
Yeah.
But I realized that some of the scars don't come when you're 25. These are scars, childhood traumas.
Yeah.
So we grow up with these traumas. That's how I did it. Yeah. And I started having the camps for young boys. So that's where it all began.
Yeah.
Without Sekhroti sitting down, but the inspiration behind this was my dad.
Yeah.
I'll just be honest. The inspiration behind this
was
my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about the most challenging part of discussing mental health for men.
Stigma around it.
Yeah.
Stigma around it. Men are not willing to say we have a mental health problem. Men are not willing to say, can I have depression? You know, I even said the other day, if in the vocab, we can take out the word stress.
Yeah.
Because if it was out, what are you going through? I'm the stress. But out never error, I'm depressed. It original stress. Out never I'm going through anxiety attacks. It original stress. So a lot of guys, they saying stress but we don't look at the mental space of how these things are affecting us. So the most challenging thing is guys opening up about it.
Yeah.
And accepting that I am depressed. You know, last year December I found myself in the same space. 3 days I realized on the third day man, something is not right here. Because I would wake up, clap no coffee and go back to bed.
Yeah.
The third day I realized
Yeah.
and then I said, something is not right with me.
Yeah.
And then I snapped out of it. So it's accepting that we are human and we have mental issues later on.
Yeah. And we know that. Oh, sorry.
We're speaking about culture earlier on.
Can you please switch on your mic there? Is it on? There we go. No?
There we go.
Perfect.
Yes.
Quick question. Earlier on, we were speaking about culture, right? And now we're speaking about men not being able to express themselves and not being able to show that they are depressed. Do you think it's culture that has done that? How we say indoda ikhali, you know, and all of that, that we are grooming men not to be expressive. Even if umuntu can see, would see, you know what, I have a mental issue, but society, because of culture, has made it so difficult for men to actually express their feelings, show weakness, sometimes show emotion, sometimes because culture has this thing which you're the head of the house and you have to be strong no matter what.
It's culture, it's society, it's parenting. It's we have to look at that to say, it starts with the clothes that we buy for our kids. Umfana will never wear pink. Umfana will always be given brown colors, will always be given black colors, will always be given dark colors. So that's the first thing that says akumelanga uzingcolise ese out. So akumelanga udlale ese out. So it starts there. And the second one is indoda akumelanga ikhulume. You know how karubu out barubu askamsadi. And then you start reserving ese out.
Yep.
And then when it comes to emotions, you're scared to even cry because bare indoda ikhali. And I always ask people to say abathi indoda ikhali based on what? Why were we given teared lens if you're not supposed to use them? Because teared lens are there for us to break down and cry. But society has said indoda ikhali machita lo nachila tamfana men up. So we start doing that. Even how yapolong about racha if you've watched the last game about Fana with Umbokazi telling the other guy to go hard on that guy. So that's how we are raised as machita to say I can't cry, I can't show emotions. That's why even our relationship fail because we don't even show emotions. You can't be all smoochy, you can't buy roses, but you can't walk around the mall. That's it's society that have messed us up, and I think we are a generation that is slowly coming up to say a man must show up.
So, but with that being said, Nana, I like the question that you just asked, right? And some of the things that you just mentioned. How do we then, as much as, because we have a thing that we recently started as well, Rebita Vugandota, right? And it's also a similar space where we try to bring men from different age groups, from different backgrounds and stuff like that, so that we have safe spaces. And we know I'm not going to be judged as Musi, as Tebogo, as a Imo, right? But then how do we balance vulnerability with society's expectations of saying, you know, toxic masculinity is a thing, you know, and you can't let your wife talk to you like this, or you can't let your daughter talk to you like this, or whatever the case, right? Or your colleague or whoever who is a female. So how do we balance and strike a very nice balance and finding a pocket where we balance vulnerability with masculinity as well?
You know, it's two things. How we balance it, it's how we accept there are those issues. You know, one thing that we also need to understand as men is masculinity should not always be toxic. There should also be the positive side of masculinity. How do I use my masculinity to anticipate or make the other man or the other woman better instead of me saying I'm gonna use the power that I have for me to break others? So we need to start there. And the second thing is, how do you open up about being vulnerable? You know, the issue when you are going through the most. Funny enough, yesterday I had a chat where I talk about emotions and emotional pain. Most of the time is we not even aware of what is emotional pain and what is emotional trauma. So it's difficult for me to be vulnerable. Before onkaraba, I always say to people, let's learn to listen. Sometimes you don't need a guy to come to you and answer. You just want a man to listen to you, give you a hug and leave. But the reason it's on Reska is because of my vulnerability becomes a topic of discussion to a lot of men. So I come to you and say, Mamele ndlini yapet and angkhona kwenza into so. Majita kunaluwa lena rufana senisha half round angisasha ine one round endlini. And yena hor ang advise the one thing that they do uyotshela amanye amajita ukuthi mfana do you know brother sasha half round. No, it becomes a topic, so I can't be vulnerable with
Absolutely.
you. So that's the problem.
And we start laughing about it.
We laugh about it.
We make it a joke, and like you mentioned,
I am shy, and that's why Uthola Machita Ba. The reason is because of how medical chika in public. When we get home, you say why bong chika pam utabangan bambang tate kanja. Then it starts there instead of saying baby handle le na sabual wena in a certain tone because of you have never opened up about triggers. You know, kwana trigger with only lako belik cheek. So sabuk cheeky. So when somebody else act cheek outside only lako fungo mura because only lako you couldn't do that. So the triggers stating are that's why emotional vulnerability is such a taboo subject within men.
And there's also a lot of coping mechanism that a lot of men go through because there are substances that are involved when it comes to all of that. We always try to find a thing that will, numb the things that we're going through down. Understand? That thing now leads to us talking about understanding because but they get to try to understand the difference between men's mental health and women's mental health. That's where we are right now, to say women's mental health is not the same as men's mental health. What is it that you wish that people understood, especially about men's mental health?
We sissies and we need help. I think that's the only thing that I can say. We also need help, and we need to understood. Most of the time we are misunderstood as men. And the reason you find machita the reason you find guys obsessed with drugs, the reason you find guys in multiple relationship is because of we don't see ourselves as healed and being able to deal with what is affecting us mentally. And when that part of you is gone, you're gonna find something that replaces a voice. And that voice is a substance, it's another human, or it's bad behavior. You know that much the whole day. It's because they are numbing their pain. There's a guy that gambling. It's because of their numbing their pain. It's something that brings them joy. The reason other guys are in multiple relationships, it's because the starting relationships don't make noise to the one that's indoors. So that's how we're dealing with our mental issues. But the one thing that society needs to be open and honest to us about is we're also human. We've got issues. And we also need to learn as much or my problems are your lessons and your lessons are my problems. So we also have to look at it in that way.
Interesting.
Very interesting, man.
Quick one, right?
Can
you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
You spoke about parenting. Do you think there is a wound that we need to visit? Because this wound was caused by slavery, apartheid, where your father was absent because he was taken by the Atlantic slave trade. So endlini, there is no father figure. And then it goes on to the next generation where it is now apartheid. Again, the men are in Joburg, working in the mines and all of that, and then the women are back home. So there's always just this absence, even with more growing up or mostly growing up. It's a wound that goes from generation to generation. Hence now we have men that are okay with being absent in their households or absent fathers. Do you think it is time that we go back to maybe the grandfathers that we have right now to address that wound so that it doesn't go on to the following generation?
You know that parenting wound. Hey, it's got a lot of layers. It's got a lot of layers. As much as we wanna go back and say apartheid positioned us in a certain way, let's remove apartheid. Let's look at the last 30 years where we were given the right as men to have our voice. Has that changed when men and women are living in the same city? So we have to look at that. You've impregnated somebody who learned Dobsonville. So what makes you absent? So we have to look at that to say, my father might have been affected. And my father affected the person that was affected is my great father, not my father. Because if I look at my biological never bothered. The guy that I call my dad is my stepdad.
Oh, wow.
And my biological stayed 20 steps away from me. Analbaka why he never owned up to me, Adula 20 steps. So the first thing that we need to do is to really go down and be honest about fatherhood. And also go back to Bomme. You know, sometimes when Alebana that are results of rape ya ko charte. And being a result of rape as a charting, there won't be a father figure in the person. And there's also a secret as a charting, which we're not malome. And when as aus ogola or auna ntatwa wa present, but it's about or grand tamala konat. And we also need to look at bosestero hore le machita hore the minute the relationship ends.
Yeah.
Let not parenting end. Because eba issue hore ha ke lahlwe ko sa marating o tsa malongwana. And I'm not going to be present for this child because of the mother wa hae na le ena are not in good terms. And also bo sister ba rona need to come to this thing hore if o fedile, let me not be a burden to this guy to a point that ratabo bona wana hae, because you put certain elements in parenting that makes the guy not to be present.
Weaponizing one.
Yeah, you weaponizing the child, but also rona majita har batla bana ba rona, we go and get them. And can we not parent for social media? You know, there's this thing hore ladies look like they're doing a good job, but it's just for them taking a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
But if you have to ask the lady handler, what are the ethos of raising this child, they'll never tell you besides taking pictures on Instagram and putting out me and my girl matching outfits. And Auti can't be there because Lana Lea and I kidnap. I don't take pictures with my kids. When I go see my kids, I don't take pictures unless if they are higher. But I'll never take a picture and say, unless let's take a picture.
Yeah.
If we can stop parenting for social media, we'll have good parenting skills.
Sheesh, man. Very deep stuff, Mo.
It is.
Very, very deep stuff.
It is.
And, you know, some of these things that you're mentioning, I think we're scared to face ourselves. I've learned over the years. But I've seen that a lot of people are scared to find out who they are away from certain spaces, you know. The one thing I spoke about at the last session of the Vooka is that as much as then more touched on it a second ago, we always want the third thing. When we can't say tele tapes ali mo se re plome fela ha manye a re tsara 2 years tapes when ora mane tapes are fonele nomfundo man ovangwa noli ora man are, you know, we always want to have the third thing, and we can't just sit really to what's really going on. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I think we do pick up on those energies when it happens. But I can't address you what's actually happening, what's really wrong, you know. But what do you think the role, what role does township language and music play? You know, especially because you use amachita, you use blomanati, words like that. I mean, they trigger something in us. You know, we were talking about culture. Matita ko smoking, ako vala, ako kay hata moka sa tugwa ko. Hi, when I'm we're not used to that. Moka, so it's like, hey, Chief, what are you saying? You won't understand. So, what do you think those kinds of things and storytelling play in shaping the conversation, and some of the engagements that you have? Go, Majens, let's talk.
I always say, it's one thing.
Yeah.
I love Kasilingo. One language that I love, language of Pitor. If there's a language that I will say, the government must put in our curriculum and people learn language of Pitor. Because there's something about it. There's something about it. But Hangata language is easy to deal with. It's easy to recognize yourself with that. Because if I said, man, let's talk, Machitako Kasi wouldn't feel part of this. They will feel this is only for suburban guys. Nakela Uchako Kasi I won't. I always say, as you said, the third thing is needed. We always need something that builds us as much. And so language and music. Yesterday actually I played a song Cuesta Encha. It gets to me. But there's this new song Cuesta. It's a beautiful song. He plays with words and lyrics, and so that's something that has always resonated with me because it talks to Machitako guys. How in a language that somebody understands, and it comes closer to you. If I held up Machita Ribua as much and let's talk, I try to run away from the English language as much as I can because I want out to express.
Exactly.
And hence I used to do the talks go the where I said to guys, let's engage. The third thing that you always talk about. But when they are tipsy, they can tell you a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's really interesting, man, because
fascinating.
what now this leads us to, because the approach, right? Because hence some people, even if he's going through the most, like they will say, I got money grand, right? So now what approach do you use to get someone? Because you also mentioned you use by prefer. Because sometimes how and then I tell you I want to talk to you. The next thing you're like, okay, let's go to my office. There's this. I'm like, hey, hot man, I think somewhere, because you feel like you are overwhelming me now, right? So what approaches do you use to make other men feel comfortable to speak about what they're going through?
You know, the honest truth, I say, be you.
Yeah.
And know that how well in it's a safe space for us. I always ask my cheat every Monday to say, how are you doing? And not because I'm curious on Tabatabon, but it's more of an emotional side more than the life part of things. Yesterday, a guy said to me, Pratebza, Foster, sharp. And I said, Arbu. So I normally say, I'm here. I might not have the answers, but how about the So actually, in any event, because you know much that you know. They won't come to you and speak.
Yeah.
How via a guy will come to you and say, you know what? There's a big corporate that normally gets me for the whole of November to do events on men mental health.
Yeah.
And one of the guys last year, cheating. He said to me, in the view of everyone, said, we're not cheating. After the talk, the guy walked with me to the car. I'm going through the most. My girlfriend is pregnant. My wife is putting divorce because But you see, in the space of everyone, out here said we're not cheating. But when I walked away, he came to me, because the only thing that we need is to bring yourself to the level of the next person. When I do school talks, it's the same thing. I don't approach life as a 51-year-old. I approach life as that is easy to access, easy to speak to, and issues that I've met. You spoke of storytelling. My story is always saying, let my story be as authentic as you can be. I cheated in my marriage. I've got 3 kids with 3 different women. My dad's got the same thing. I've been a bad father at some stage because of I thought the streets were the answer to my problems. Until I realized the streets are not the answers to my problems. I need to come back and be the man that I've always wanted to be. So Hagi Waka stories out cheat. It's not something that I've done it, I've lived it. Because of the media space will make you think that you're the best thing that ever happened to me.
I love how you just mentioned media and the streets. Like, I don't think we really get they really influence us in terms of our perspectives and how we perceive and how we view these things and how we go on about these things. Because for a long time, it was glorified. And I don't we glorify those things, and I aspire to get to that. You're not seeing that's actually a bit of a toxic thing. You can't have that, because what it also creates is that, now going back to the parenting thing, is kids now end up growing up, and it's a cycle that is continuous, growing up in broken homes where it's not a 2-parent household, and we're trying to become a generation and but I love how you approach those things, because those are taboo conversations, especially family, do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's funny for me, like, now we can laugh about it, but it's really, really serious things. I usually say, I remember back in high school, and I'm sure, guys, you attest to this, and I'm not sure, but I love saying that 70s and 90s kids, teenage pregnancy, guys. I'm not sure about 80s, but 70s and 90s kids, because I'll tell you why. Those who were born in the 70s, and that's where they were in their teenage years during the 90s. Right, and so teenage pregnancy where and stuff like that. So it's just fascinating things. But when we talk about media, how do you think it can be used as not just a tool for entertainment, but a space that we can use to address some of these things, and not just have a show and stuff like that, but really, really make use of it as a tool to address these issues, and not just remedy them as well, but really address them and get to the core of it and find ourselves coming out better on the other side?
I think we need to start with, I'm going to be controversial here.
Don't worry, go for it.
We need to stop worshipping influencers that are not giving us
substance,
content and substance. we need to start with the content that is hard-hitting, where everybody will follow good content. And as media, we need to also be an advisory board for things that are happening in and around us. Yesterday, everybody was putting up purple. Everybody's going purple because influencers are following it. But how many campaigns have we had that will just see people putting these things out? But what's the end results besides us trending with purple? So media needs to also be the voice. When we're talking about women and men being killed every day, when we're talking about boy child being abused every day, media should lead the conversation, not lead a story that has more eyes on the balls. Even if it's a story with 2 likes, let's give those stories out there. So problem we're all about likes. So as media, we always push trash out. We're pushing trash out. And if we can stop, there's a video circulating about Kereke. For me, that's trash.
It is.
But there's, if you can check how many people have shared that video, how many people are conversing about that video, yet it's trash that we should not be promoting as media. As media, we should say, let's not like or repost. There's an 11-year-old boy that was raped in East London. Nobody's talking about that. There's a girl with her face not recognized. Nobody's talking about those things as media. How do we lead these conversations as media and have hard-hitting content, not like content? The problem is we white like content. We get worried when a post in Alba 2 by 3 versus 2 by 15. So we need to stop doing stories for likes, but for impact.
So with that being said, I just want to invite you on a conversation that we are about to have after this short ad, right? I'm going to invite Nomi to come, and we're talking everything purple now, right? So all I need you to do is to stick with us and do not switch the dial.
Never imagine I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising. I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I had to abide you.
10 minutes past 9, it is the time, still giving you the energetic starter to your day. Connect with us throughout our social media platforms. Right now we are live on YouTube. All you need to do is to share the live with your loved ones. Come through, share your sentiments by using hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Or you can send your voice note on 060-493-3226. And speaking of preserving this conversation, now it bleeds to preserving culture, right? Because I believe that there are a lot of things that are happening that shape how other men tackle their life problems and tackle how they see life out there. Talk to me, Nomi, in terms of preservation, because now we are continuing with the conversation that we started with.
For me, it's about time we focus. I actually love these conversations that are Afrocentric. Because the more Afrocentric conversations we have, the more we're able to preserve culture. In fact, speaking about that, let's speak about isiko lokuqoma. You know, I know Ubanele told me that he once went to a church, a Chinese church. I do not know what he was doing there. Do not ask me. And when he got there, you know, he realized like it's all about getting married. He was actually chosen to get married to someone, but he declined. He declined that opportunity, which takes me to Umkhosi Mhlanga, which happens annually. Every year, September, we find in Tombi. They go to the royal house. Normally, it would be Eskodlo and Cecilo and Yogeni, but this year I see that it changed. But they would go to the king. At some points in my life, many years ago, I was also part of those girls who would hambisa imhlanga to the king, and it would be basically about your purity. Now the question nowadays is, we are seeing amajiji, they are dating publicly, so there's TikTok, there's Instagram, you see them as couples. So it then bears the question of, are we keeping ourselves for marriage, or are we dating and it's purely just the thing of being celibate? Like, here I am, I'm celibate, so zonke lezo zinto, or has it changed over the years because of social media and stuff like that? Suguti umntombi is now no longer about preserving yourself for marriage. You can still date, Kugcina sekuba neclash ekhona ukuthi we grew up knowing that umntombi, you're not even supposed to be seen with a man. In fact, I remember Sister Hlola, I'm sorry for saying this, but they would say that every man has an STD. There was even a song about that to say, don't even go near men, because they were trying to keep us as far from boys, as far away from men as possible. But nowadays, you get ukuthi uyintombi nomfundo uyaziwa, but I'm being seen with umusi going out on dates. Doesn't that end up compromising isithunzi somntombi and making people question? Because even in our times, there's always people that are going to question your virginity. Even in our times, people are like, oh no, mfundo, uyintombi, Even now, there's Ubers. Umuntu is going to be like, we're having this conversation the other day, which is just because you always see different cars picking me up. It's Uber. It's not a man. It's Bolt or what. So even with those things nowadays, you find people are questioning it more. Unomfundo, no Musi, but Unomfundo is always in Musi's car, or Unomfundo is always being picked up. Do you think the time that we're in is now compromising this?
Societal pressure and the times are not the same. When Ubuntu was preserved, there were many reasons behind it. One, you wanted to get married as pure as you were. Konamanje, it's something that we don't look forward to. The minute Uba Intombi, it means you are not Ubuntombi because you want to be Intombi. You are Intombi because Ekaya, they are enforcing the Ubuntombi in you. Because if you say as Intombi, but we're only enforcing it one side. We're saying preserve yourself as a woman, but we're not saying preserve yourself as a man. So this man melayagubani. So if we're saying preserve yourself as a woman, this boy because we say a boy can't be 17 and be a virgin. We say it out loud there to say you need to go and get your action. Why not 18 we virgin? Why not 20 we virgin? So that's where the compromise comes in, when it's a girl is say preserve, a boy is not preserving. And also in society, do we even know what this stands for? I know there's areas most of it that they do have Ubuntombi. And my challenge has always been Ubuntombi Zulu people only. Why are Sotus, Xhosas, and Vendas not practicing it? We're only seeing people that are holding it high in terms of making noise about it. Uklolwa and Amajiji, it's mainly the Nguni ones. Basotho only see it how Lesotho. But when it's in Joburg, we don't see it. When you're talking about Botswana, they don't do it. They don't make noise about it. If culture can start saying Zulu, Sotus, and Ndebeles also do it very well. But if everybody can start embracing that, then Sijolo Sabana Barona at 12 will also stop. Nati this new Tasbonavantana Bamekone Bangabzana, Besses by hip, instead of which is Bashluganis. That's also Patsasa Bashluganis, Kosuzolandi, Tamalaki, so there's a lot of issues as this affect her in terms of the dating and culturally. Do we even know a culture yet to Tina is in
dating? Now going back to that, right? I do know even in Venda there's something called Zomba. It's Zonga, something like that. Nago, it's Uklola Gwendombi. Do you then think that it's time that we change? I mean, Dala, we used to have Ichiji.
Sorry?
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not trying to be controversial. But what I meant, in fact, it's not Ichiji, it's Ikrigiza. So you'd have a girl that would be like your leader as girls. So if I'm seeing a specific gentleman or I've fallen in love, because feelings, guys, I'd go to Ikrigiza Lami and tell her that, hey, there's Umusi and I'm quite interested in Umus, then she would obviously oversee the whole thing to say, do not get intimate with him, but also get to know him. You know, the time where Umusi is as my suitor, suiting me and pursuing me, she is overseeing that whole thing to make sure that there is no intimacy going on. But we're getting to know each other, because at the end of the day, what are we preserving ourselves for? Well, Dala, it was for marriage. You know, you're keeping yourself for marriage. So then we can't say just because we're preserving you for marriage, you're not allowed to have suitors. You are allowed to have suitors, but there's a way around it, you know, to say you are 18, 19, 20, the guys are gonna come. It's time there for you to start looking for a husband. And if there's a potential suitor, I, as Ikigizalako, will oversee the whole thing. And then Umusi, I think there used to be Induna in Izwa. You know, so you will, you as Umo will be like, okay, we're meeting with Ikigizala Nomfundo and Unomfundo at 3 p.m. You guys are there. It's like a double date sort of thing. As we are conversing, you guys are also overseeing that. I think now, because of social media and the times that we're in, there's a breakdown in that where people are now just going openly on dates, you know, and the more you go on dates, the more you want to explore. Not that Dala Babenga explored. There were ways around it, controlled ways around it. And I don't want to... Is it safe to say, are we a kiddies family show? But like they used to do is into Efana Noksoma. You know, to say we're keeping the relationship alive, but there is no penetration, so I'm still a virgin. But as my suitor, you are known. So should I be pregnant? Should I fall pregnant from that? Because a lot of people used to fall pregnant as virgins, by the way, because of Lelo Sigo Loksoma. Umusi was there, Umo was there, and Ikigizalami was also there. So they know exactly Uguti Umtana Ogabani. You know, it's not a questionable thing. Nowadays, you find it's so unfortunate. You keep yourself for 12 years, comes Umfana from Dobsonville, gets you pregnant, and then Gabo 5 a.m. you go to his house and he says, I do not know you. And there is no one to stand for you as the girl at that particular moment to say, but at 3 p.m. you met at Dobsonville Stadium.
But maybe let me put it to Owutitebo, and I love some of the things that she just mentioned, right? How do we then, or how should we try and consider perceiving and approaching the dating culture now, especially as young people, you know, because these days asking for your number, we were dating now. Understand? When you've given me your number, I've said hi on WhatsApp, this is Musi, we met go with Katie. How do we perceive dating as young men and try to approach the conversation in a very healthy way so that they know just because we've exchanged numbers and the person is keeping themselves, you know, it should be preserved. I
think medical which is jolo in. You know one thing. It's jolo in. And when you ask for that number, for those numbers, is it because of you like the girl to be a friend or you want to start a relationship? And at what age? Because for me, is I saw it yesterday happen in Orlando High. I was driving past Orlando High. I could see banyana balu fence, bakenya di phone mo fencing. So baka di ntwana tsa Orlando High di number, ntwana di nka di number mo fencing. I'm not talking about people that were literally mostrating. Babambakamo. By exchange the number. And who was holding the phone? The girl. Not the boy. The girl. So one thing that we also need to say is mjoloke, and when we're doing it, what's the end goal? Because if we're doing it at 14, is it towards marriage? Is it about siyakhulesana? And Ronako Dinklung, do we teach our kids to date? You know, there's two things that we also need to look at. There's dating and relationships. And a lot of people mix the two. Or you can go on 15 dates but not be in a relationship. So we also need to teach our kids, or going on date, having ice cream and coming back, it's a date. Going on movies and coming back, it's a date. You are not in a relationship. The problem starts with us thinking, has a an opportunity, a number, and you go on a date. Expect a kiss. But that moment, this is not your girlfriend.
Okay.
So we need to understand the two. Then from there, you will know, you know what, we're moving from dating to courting. From courting, we move to a relationship. Different stages. How do you treat each other in these three phases? So if we can know that, Banabarna won't have the pressure to be in relationships.
Yeah.
So they're mistaking dating and relationship. We need to go back.
Yeah.
And say that's why uwaka kusoma talking about that. Bebahamba bahlala emanzini, babheka amanzi andlula balahlela amatshe omunye uphethe into and then next thing batsama. But they'll become the second phase where a man will draw a line and say, what jumper from this side to this side, you my girlfriend. You understand? So those are the different phases that were happening. When I read guy number, kusasa ngiyaza ngizokubona mfethu doesn't manje uzogidla nini kimi.
Yeah.
So uza overnight.
Do you then think we should adopt the white way of doing things? I've seen a lot of white people. I don't know how I feel about this. At malls, right? You see them on a Friday, on a Saturday. It's the mom, the dad, the siblings. And then there's just one 16-year-old girl with her boyfriend on the side.
Yeah.
The parents are here. They are part of the whole thing, but she's on the date with her man, but the parents are there. Now, the purpose of that is to make sure it doesn't get to,
they're monitoring.
Doing naughty stuff. Do you think as black people, we should also probably now, because of the times, explore such?
I've got a 25-year-old. I bet you I'll never go on a date with her.
Yo.
You'll never chaperone.
I'll never share that with her. But I understand why others will do it. It's also a safety net.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you look at the black way of parenting, it's either sna mile or sna moto. So do I have time? Also, the third thing that we don't is time. Do I have time to go chill with my kid at dating? You understand? And how many of these dates am I going to be part of? Because what if this one doesn't work out? So the next one, foot mailing.
Yeah. Every
so
time. Every time when they change partners.
And it's also when whites doing it, it's because of they want a safe space. There are parents that says, rather okay no eme jarting because ufunani it's difficult to kiss intombazane jarting la kubo. Never izame leyo. Because it's really window ngamabomu so that we can see.
Yeah.
But it's also putting them in a very safe space. And when I imagine with everything that is happening, there's a lot of kidnapping, there's a lot of stuff that is happening. And if you have to do it for your kid and stay with them, do it. But the question is, how many of those are you going to meet? Then it becomes the second thing to say, what's your conversation with your kid on dating?
Yeah. Very interesting. So on that note, on the Magents talk, let us take a short break and then we will come and conclude because I know that there's so many things to talk about and we need to just wrap it up because I see there are some comments. People are asking questions in terms of the men's mental health. With that being said, please do not switch the dial. Still having a good time. It is a beautiful Tuesday right here, and you are tuned in the Vooka Breakfast Show. 25 minutes past 9, it is the time. And still in conversation with Mr. Tebogo, talking everything magenta, cultural preservation, what to do and what you need to avoid doing. But before we let you go, my brother, I know that people are looking for solutions, right? And you are a man of solutions, of course, because men's mental health is a very heavy subject to talk about. So anything you've planned that people can join?
I'm having my sessions every Monday online. Unfortunately, they're online because a face-to-face becomes a challenge. I'm having sessions every Monday. We had one yesterday, so I've got 2 left. We're talking, yesterday it was men and emotions. We're talking relationships and mental health next week because we have issues with different types of relationships that we have, from our siblings to money to alcohol to everything. So that's the type of relationship that we're talking about. So those are what I'm having, and I'll be going back in December having an event. But looking at the date, December, it becomes very tricky to get men in one place.
Yeah.
Because I always have an event in December where I say, find a friend that you never had and a brother that you never had.
Yeah, man.
We had a session this past weekend with a bunch of guys calling ourselves Free Men Brotherhood, and it was a successful event where we even spoke finances. And I realized that as much that mental health, it affects us in a lot of ways, because we always have these P's that everybody's talking about. We need to protect and provide, but there's these 2 P's that people hardly talk about, which is pressure and performance. So you find yourself, you need to provide, but the minute there's pressure happening in your life, your performance in every space of your life gets affected. And then the protection that you're supposed to be giving to your kids, that never happened. The providing to your kids, it doesn't also happen because of there's this pressure, your performance over now, and the pressure is, how do you become this man that everybody wants to see? You know, we fake it till we make it, and I hate that as my daughter, because of even when we in pain, we always say grand. So mental health is a discussion that I always have, not only in December. I failed somewhere when I lost a phone and people laughed at me. I used to take my video every day, a 1-minute video that I post on my status, and talking to you out, how are you feeling today, you emotionally, your goals, your dreams. And when if only changed, people started saying if only I'm looks 19 and 2. So I stopped taking those videos. I'll be honest with you. I didn't stop taking videos because of I didn't have content, but because of but if only I'm not sending 2, then I hadn't got another phone. So I went back to sending those posts, because there's a man that needs my advice, and there's a man that needs a voice from any other man. I always say, T.D. Jakes once said, the world is looking for a man. Children are looking for a man. Wives are looking for a man. Are you the man that the world is looking for? And to become the man that the world is looking for, you need to accept certain situations in your life and be bold about decisions that you made. And when you become conscious about things that you're going through, you'll be dedicated to the cause of what you are doing.
I love that. I love that, Mo. And what it brings me to is that, and I know you and I and Manel have had this conversation, is that and it's not a bad thing, I'm not against it whatsoever, but we're bombarded with a whole lot of content, either on our phones, on TVs, whatever the case is. Mass media, though, is that we're building up the girl child so much, but who is building up the boy child in equivalence to this girl child? Take a girl to work, it's a girl child this, it's a girl this, it's a girl this. But when the boy child is the same age as one own Kausani, they are 25, like you just mentioned with your daughter, will they be on an even playing field? But what it takes me to is, young man is listening and watching right now, one thing that you would want to say to them that they can take into their daily lives and keep it and have it as they are growing up and going about their lives.
Mine is easy, change your mindset. Just change your mindset. I always say, one mindset change is one life saved. Change your mindset about life. If there's anger with your father, you're not your father. If things happen between Odilako and Tamalako, stay away from adult conversation. Focus on your dreams, focus on what you want to achieve, and be the best man that you can be. That's all I can say to you out here, Mamele. And don't let the world dictate to you how to live your life. If you are a man or friends are not always there to assist you. And the challenge that I'm giving to everyone, and including the breakfast team here, is check your phone now. You've got how many contacts? And put a status to say, Jens Cooper 5,000. How many people from the contact list will help you to make and collect 5,000 rand? If by the end of today or the end of this week I don't have 5,000, delete the phone back.
As simple as that, man. Before I let you go, if people want to get in contact with you, where can they find you in social media?
I am Dobsonville on social media. My Gents Let's Talk is also a platform that I can reach out to. I think even everywhere you're looking for, it's Dobsonville. So if you go on my Gents Let's Talk, you send me a message, I will respond, and then I will ask you and I'll send you that WhatsApp. If you go on TikTok, you'll find me, I'm Dobsonville. Everywhere it's Dobsonville.
Yeah. With that being said, Mr. Dobsonville, thank you so much. It was an honor being with you here, and we hope to have you, once again, because we know that November is, themed as the Men's Mental Health Month, right? And it was really nice to have you on this day and have this conversation. we hope to have it with you again, and have a blessed day ahead of you.
No, Yabonga, thank you very much.
No,
for the
thank
invite.
you.
Thank
We
very
appreciate. We appreciate, Mr. Tebogo.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir, man. The time right about now, 31 minutes after the hour, 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Yay.
Yeah. Yo.
The 11th of November, man, 2025. And you're still hanging out with us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network. In a second, we're going to be hanging out with Tutu Zelikweta, Mzansi Advisor, the Liberty guy, the Liberty man
himself.
And, absolutely. And I'm excited, always excited to have him in studio, man, you know. And he did promise us, and now he's here. We're going to be talking all things finances, and I can't wait to get into that conversation, because, you know, that's why we bring you on the Vooka Breakfast Show every Tuesday morning. So, but before we get to that, let's quickly go pay our bills, and then after
before
the
you do
break,
that, Mist,
yes, sir.
Of course, man, we've been having this conversation for quite some time right now,
Sure.
and I see that there are comments that came through. We are going to go through those comments, don't worry. But for us right here, and for people who are watching and listening,
yes, sir,
what is the one take that you took from this conversation?
That I need not be afraid to be vulnerable as a guy, as a man. I need not be afraid to be vulnerable, because I'm one of those people who struggles with vulnerability completely. Completely. I'm not a wanting to be in control type of person, but I never want to let go and
things,
and have it float. I need to have control. I need to know where
it's
I'm
going. You're going with it.
Vulnerability also means letting go and not clenching so hard and so tight, right? Just letting go and trusting the process. So I need to learn that, and that's what I took away from the conversation, man.
Talk to us.
My biggest takeaway is that we are adults that are being shaped by our childhoods. And the fact that as a boy child, you grow up to be a man.
Yes.
And what happens in your childhood shapes the man that you are. Society is too focused on the girl child, on females. It's about time that we shift a bit of our focus on raising the boy child to grow up to be a responsible man, because we are adults that are shaped by our childhoods. We are just little kids in these big bodies and big minds. So let's focus on the boy child.
Very powerful, man. So let us know what is that one takeaway from the conversation we have just had right now. Talking everything cultural preservation. My gents, let's talk men's mental health, the most important subject of this month. Let us take a short break, because all about preserving culture, but one of the most important thing is preserving your finances. Festive is creeping in. Some of us are starting to blow away our savings.
Yeah, no, guys, every day is every day. Bafethu sabshaya pupula le mali. Mtutuzi came through a couple of weeks ago. He's saying that he was planning on going Kabuntombazana. Ayovela. Ayo, yabon. Siyathatha le mali yamalobolo mfethu
The danger is though, being originally from KZN or Durban and living in Joburg and going home, everybody thinks that
so unemali.
Unemali. One weekend at home is so expensive, guys. So you might want to think twice about going back home in December, because everyone you see in the streets is like, I went to 20 rand with drinking, I went to 50 rand with drinking. How is that unemali? Guys, Joburg is just like KZN. In fact, it's worse when it comes to making money. We're not rich.
Hey, it's another conversation for another day. But with that being said, let us hear what Mtutuzele has to say about blowing Himalaya Lobola.
Yeah, definitely.
Catch him after this break. Still a beautiful and a great morning right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. And of course, man, I think by now, every one of you have that energy to kickstart your day with a daily dose of positivity. The conversations that we are having, of course, they are conversations that are very thought compelling and a conversation that can help me and you. But now we're getting in the most important one, which is finance, because every Tuesday when you choose yourself, you need to choose your personal finances, whereby whatever money that you have, you need to use it wisely. Be someone who is financial sensitive. And this man, you know him, we have been with him, you have seen him, and you're about to see him once again. Mr. Mtutuzeli is joining us right here, our financial advisor. If you need any advices with finances, he is the right guy. Today, we're going to be talking about black tax. I know some of you have heard the name, played around with it a lot, but you don't understand what is it, what is black tax. But before we get into that, Mr. Mtutuzeli, it's very important to do the mental check-in, to ask, how are you doing, my good sir?
Good morning, Vooka Breakfast Show. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. I'm gingizing here. It's a lot. Signing in. I'm here.
Yes,
Morning.
Man.
Good to see you once again.
It is.
Man.
It
Good
is great to see you.
Well, it's exciting
It
to
is.
have you in studio. Man.
Thank
It's
you.
exciting
Thank
to
you.
have you in studio. Let's get right into it. Quickly, just to reintroduce yourself, because there is probably one person who's watching for the first time or who's seen you for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Who is Mtutuzeli? Who's the Mzansi advisor? Who's the Liberty guy? You know, just so that we have an understanding of who this guy is, who's with us in studio.
Mtutuzeli is accredited financial advisor
Yes, sir.
with Liberty, also known as as you said, Mzansi advisor.
Yeah.
My number one job is so that people can learn to remove the L and earn. Financial literacy, everyday doings that's got to do with money, that's got to do with legacy planning, that's got to do with your business. I'm that guy.
Yes, sir.
I'm here to help out in all spheres, and you don't have to pay me.
Yeah.
Standard Bank and Liberty pay me to
Yeah.
take care of your needs. So it's not about how much money you have. It's not about what you know. It's not about who you know. It's about let's get you going. Let's
Yeah.
get that financial vehicle moving.
Yeah.
That's Mtutuzeli.
Yeah.
From a formality side.
Yeah.
On the other side, I'm a happy
Chick
guy.
Yeah.
Father, husband,
Yeah.
social media, influencer,
Yeah, okay.
I'm an everyday guy that's here to just talk, share,
Yeah.
be about experience.
Yeah.
I'm a walking XP, I like to call myself.
Hey.
And talking about experience and removing the L from LAN.
Yeah.
Today is National Education Day. And I'm glad that you're here because we want to be educated about something, a subject that we have brought now, which is the black tax. Before I do that, I went through and I got, the staggering stats from South Africa that says 80% of people who work by the 15th, they are broke. You get paid on the 25th, on the 2nd, you got
You're
no
broke.
money
Yeah.
at all, right? Others will come in to say, guys, we have family that we need to take care of on.
Yeah.
I have 7 brothers. I have a family that I need to send money to, right? And with that being said, other people are like, no, why are you sending money to your family while you have worked for yourself? Yes, we understand you have built that individual brilliance, individual financial development for yourself. But now people are just getting lost in between people paying money, people sending money back home. Let's now, just talk and define the word black tax according to you and in our communities.
Okay, no, that's a very shocking statement that you shared with me, and it goes back to that. I always used to make a joke about it, but now there's stats to actually back it up. When we say there's too much month at the end of the money, not too much money at the end of the month. And it's also like when I go back to the statement that people don't believe that they are gambling because they have multiple expenses on one income.
Yeah.
And if that one income goes, and then it's battle of the debit orders, battle of the expenses. But on today's topic, where we're speaking about black tax, I don't like to use the word tax because everyone associates the word tax as government, and not necessarily a pleasing thing. I call it family contribution or wealth creation.
Yeah.
Because the real meaning around, black tax is we were deprived. We were going back in the days, not given the opportunities as the Caucasian had when it came to, families where my forefathers left this behind and it was generationally passed on and passed on.
Yeah.
So what happens is black tax is really hitting the first graduate in your family, the first young professional who's now going to be taking the love, the endearing, and the financial support of taking care of elderly parents, siblings who had to sacrifice maybe an opportunity to go to varsity and to start work and never got an opportunity to upgrade. So it's got a lot of, there's a lot of load to it.
Yeah.
But I want us to remember that this is not a punishment. This is another way of you rewriting history for your family so that we can start looking at it differently. And we're going to unpack it as we go along. But black tax is all about family, love, support, and building one another.
Yeah. I'm glad you clarified that, because I was going to ask, is it fair to call it tax? Because why is your family taxing you, my brother? And for some people, one of the most, difficult question, one of the difficult statement, to be asked is, why is it difficult for you to say no to your family, right? Because people go around, because we are complaining. You're saying if your family is taking a lot from you. Why do you think it's so hard for so many people to say no, especially to family, when they have the money?
I think no is the hardest thing to say to people, but one of the first things that people want to say, because it's a reaction that has got to do with protection. I have to say that there's a way in how you can say no, and there's a way in how you can express it. And the word that I'm going to use is transparency.
Yeah.
No one will not accept your no if you didn't communicate.
Yeah.
The transparency around your finances. Now there's a clause to that. Not everyone needs to know how much you earn, but people need to know what your obligations are and what your plan is with the family.
Yeah.
So when I say no, it's no within the parameters, or it's no within the plan that we spoke about. Highly 50. If I'm giving you 50 rand to go and buy, lunch for the month. And now, I come back to second, I can only give you 30. The no is still, I'm not saying no to, I'm giving you 30 because right now, budget-wise, things are different.
And not coming together,
Or if it's a straight no, it's a no not out of hate. It's a no because financially we're going through things.
Yeah.
Cyril's economy is real, Buffett.
Yeah. It is.
It's real.
That's funny.
It's happening, and we're seeing it unfolding each and every day.
Yeah.
And there are people who can't, make ends meet nowadays because of even the terms middle class, right? Because there is this guy who was talking about a lot of people, when they hear middle class, they hear that you can afford a car, you can afford to buy a house, right? And when we look around those terms, trying to differentiate and now come up with a conclusion to say, okay, if I'm in a middle class, do I qualify to send the money home? If I don't earn as much as I'm supposed to earn, do I qualify, to send the money home? But now the problem is, if this keeps on continuing, being a continuous thing, we're talking about cultural preservation. So many people are preserving their culture. They're still living with their culture right now. And ways of finding just to, get away with this tradition. Do you think that the next generation will continue with the tradition of this black tax that we are labeling as it is right now? Or things are changing with the amount of information that we are getting to a point that it will fade over?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Because it all goes back to how long is a piece of string, and it all depends on the angle you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Technology is improving. Information is readily and vastly out there. But it all goes to the notion, knowledge. Information is king. Knowledge is power, but it only is full power if you implement it. So we've got access to internet, we've got TikToks, we've got all these platforms that are teaching us about financial literacy, but how many of us are really implementing it? It's that implementation that will make the change in the future.
Yeah.
And if there's no implementation or part implementation, then there'll be slight changes. And the slight changes, we are starting to see them right now, because the whole discussion around lobola, the whole discussion about how much is the value around this.
Sure.
You know what I mean? The whole discussion around a man and providing, the talk with Debohoe, the Majens, around a man, the P's, provide, protect. Those things are all changing also around the dynamics of social equality, around what the money can give us. So realistically, if I have to answer you to say that it is going to change, it is going to evolve. And just like our parents in those times, we never really questioned why Umalume says we must do this when we are slaughtering or when we're doing a ceremony. But back then it had a reason. Maybe there was no money, so they did it like this. Maybe there was no this, so they did it like that. And that's what's going to happen in this time, in this day and age right now. Umuntu now can't slaughter at night because the lights, social media, whatnot. So they're gonna come with gimbals. There's gonna come with change and adding things in. And that's the same thing with finance. It's the same thing with how people are treating black tax. It may not be you buying groceries and whatnot, but it will be another form of medical aid. I want it to be in life cover, because that's legacy planning. I want it to be instead of enriching somebody ngemali, you can also enrich them in education. You can also enrich them in a business setup. So it will change. It has to change.
So, but I mean, it's usually framed as a burden. Right? It's usually framed as a burden, and I love how you mentioned at the beginning of the conversation that the word tax has this notation or connotation of government, and the government taxes us. Hey, repatela tax, But do you think it's purely financial, or does it also carry cultural implications as well? Where maybe it's a responsibility of love, and it's a responsibility of this, that, and the other. How do we frame it? And even further, to stretch it a bit, how do you handle it or navigate it with your clients as well? When a 38-year-old comes and says, "Hey, look, man,
sure.
I'm suffering from black ticks." How do we navigate it in terms of really taking care of our finances?
I think I first have to educate the part where we need to get rid of the word burden. It's not a burden. It's an investment. It's an equalizer. It's helping your people to grow. And understand it's not just a South African thing. In Nigeria, there's a form of black tax. In Zimbabwe, there's a form of black tax. In the US, with the immigrants, there's a form of black tax. We're all trying to put our people at a stage where we're supposed to be, but we're not all starting from start. That's a very big thing. We're not all starting from start. So that for me is the important part. But then I go to, especially around family, guys, because umuntu is suppressing his growth, because the minute he shows the new car, the minute he's got the job and he's grateful for that, he's now wearing the clothes or the label that he wants, he's deemed as successful. And then what does Malume want? The first check. Or what does auntie or whoever in the family starts seeing that no, lomutu no mai, and he needs to start supporting more. And that's where now that family sit down. That's where that family WhatsApp group comes with structure. Comes with structure, guys. It comes with structure. Because, yes, you can see your company's making money, but it doesn't mean they're going to pay you more money. There's a structure to this thing to keep the lights on, to keep the food going, to keep everything. So same thing goes with how you handle your family. Now, easier said than done. I'm here with beautiful English talking about money and family. Easier said than done. But you have to be open and honest and do what you can. Otherwise, you're going to fall into the depression of not being able to provide because of people's expectation versus your reality. Instagram is nice because everyone posts the good things.
Yeah,
they
nice
never post. They never post
the struggles.
The struggles.
Yeah.
My bank calls me every day because my bank balance is outstanding.
Hey.
You know?
Yeah, we don't talk about such things.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
Glamorize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and romanticize it as well. Especially, and maybe this, and I realize that I'm coming from a biased place, but I have not a bone to pick necessarily, but a bone to pick with the framing of social media.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to dictate to people once a person has bought a house or a car or whatever, they shouldn't post it. But there's this glamorization that's there that comes with it. I just bought a new car. It's fresh from the shop. I'm the first driver of this car, and it's good. We're happy. More drives out of the the dealership with the car and stuff like that. But we don't understand, and we never actually address those implications. Did I actually have a conversation with him too?
Yeah.
Look, man, I want to buy a car. This is and it seems like it's possible for everyone. We can do it. I don't have burdens. I don't have responsibilities, guys. I just bought a car. In 5 years, I'm going to buy a new one. But there's things behind it, So there's a lot, man.
There is a lot. And right now, I can't believe that I'm asking this question. But are there tools or apps that we can use to manage, the money and track the money that we give to our family members?
Yes, they definitely is. Before we even go to the apps, whatever like that, we all have a cell phone, right? Or we have a diary.
Yeah.
It's called tracking. It's called journaling. You need to write all your expenses down. You need to write all your income down.
Yeah.
And then you need to write what are you going to be paying yourself.
Yeah.
So in a formula, it's the 50-30-20 rule. 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% is your investing and savings.
Yeah.
So once you have that, you can then start moving it to different platforms. So Standard Bank has a great app, absolutely free. You don't need to bank with Standard Bank. It's called the Stash app. That app was created by a gentleman. I actually picked him up on TikTok, where it was during COVID.
Yeah.
He believed, why don't I save 10 cents every single day and let it grow? And in a year's time, it was over, I think it was something like 3,000 and something like that.
Really?
That it just accumulated.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Standard Bank loved that concept so much that they developed the app, and now they've linked it to different things. There's Stash When I Sweat. So you can link your fitness app, your cell phone app, to your Stash app. So whenever you break a sweat, it then will stash money.
Yeah.
Stash when it rains. Whenever it rains,
Oh, wow.
it's linked to the weather.
Oh.
You can boost your stash. So the Stash app is basically like a tax-free savings account.
Yeah,
It's limited
yeah.
to 36,000 that you can contribute in the year.
Nice.
But the beauty of it all is that you're putting away money in all spheres, simple and easy.
Yeah.
I always also like to use the notion money out of sight is money out of mind. So if you don't see
Is
it,
it
You don't see,
you're not going to spend it. If you see it, you know you got it, so you want to spend it.
Is it really out of mind, though?
So it kind of is, because I always say that if you get the app, you set it up, delete it after you set it up.
Okay.
So that it's got the request, it's got the ordering, it will do what it needs. You won't go onto the app like your banking app to see how much you have to want to spend. Or just get a financial advisor who can manage it for you.
I love that.
So,
but that sounds so cool, man. The Stash app.
Yeah, can I just add this one quickly about out of sight? So for me, it is still in sight because I've got a 32-day account. So I was looking for like imali, like, something small.
Yeah.
But the penalty fee is 150 rands. So I decided, you know what, it's fine, let me leave it because of the penalty. So I saw that by putting in stops or measures in place to prevent you from doing something that you're not supposed to do, that helps.
Yes.
That helps. So I'll personally try the app and see how it works. And the next time when we in conversation, I'll let you know. But I've seen how the 32-day notice is helping me because I don't get to withdraw money for reckless reasons.
Yeah.
The only time I will is I have to put a notice, and for me putting a notice, I can always come back and cancel it before the 32 days is over. So I've seen that it helps, guys, tremendously.
Yeah.
You have to put these measures in place, guys, because the human mind, it's dangerous.
It's tricky and it's very dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Right? It can lead you into places
out of sight, out of mind. It's always in mind.
Yeah.
If I'll remember that 110 rand in the secret pocket, like that. That's just how I am. You know, I don't think I have this thing of really forgetting and putting it out of mind.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm telling you, the best analogy is you had a good night out. You know, you went out with the friends.
Sure.
It was nice. It
Sure.
was good. You were wearing that jacket that weekend. You forgot about it. You hung it up. 2 weeks later, it's cold. You put on the
I put
jacket
it
and you
inside.
put your hands in your pocket.
Can I
And
live
what do
50
you
rand?
find? Keep, Baba, keep. Man.
Can I live for years?
Yeah.
I see you.
So that's the whole concept that I try and teach a lot of people, that as easy as it is for you to go to, and I don't mean to mention these brands, but a La Parada, a Kofi, and spend 1,000 rand, 500 rand on drinks.
Yeah.
You won't do that for yourself. Why? But it's easy to do that for the drinks, but you won't pay yourself an investment.
yourself,
You won't invest. I never like to use the word savings anymore because inflation's eating us, guys.
Yeah.
It's a tough time out here. Investing is what's beating inflation. Now, there is different ways in how we look at investing because of your risk factor and how long you're going to be investing. And this is why I say sit down with an advisor, because I've seen a lot of people on social media, TikTok specifically, that are giving financial advice, but they are not accredited. They have no RE5. They have no qualification, but they're giving free advice. There's not even a disclaimer, and then people go about doing those things. They lose money. Easy come, easy go. Everyone's a trader. There's all sorts of things that are just happening that people are not taking into factor. That, look, guys, use the financial advisor services. They are free. They're going to give you advice. They're going to give you a record of advice. Write it in black and white to say, I've got your back based on your needs. I've understood where is it that you would like to be and how can we navigate it there.
Curate a plan that's suitable for your needs.
100%.
I love that. But how does black tax differ from different generations, right? So there's a young professional, 28-year-old, is in the workforce, is a at some corporate event, corporate company, what do you call this? Salesperson, right? A 28-year-old is a salesperson, just bought her first car, i20, versus a 51-year-old. How does black tax differ from those generations? How do we approach it? How do we navigate it so that we're more financially clued up as we go on about our lives?
So I like the way you broke it down, because you're speaking about life stages.
Sure.
So a 28-year-old versus a 54-year-old.
Sure.
The 54-year-old is a few years from retirement, 10 years, 5 years. You know, he's somewhere there. His main priority right now is to make sure the sustainability of himself and the people that are already under his care through dependency. So he needs to now make sure that things like debt are not something that are going to be very high, because his income ability is going to stop. And he's going to now either have to be a grant candidate if he didn't have a pension or a provident fund that was set up for him, or he's going to need to start looking at the savings that he does have and the people that he's taking care of. How is he equipping them and equipping himself so that they can be sustainable? Because people think death happens in retirement. Retirement is still another, it's 60 or 55, and then you have another 30 years of living. That 30 years of living that's going to define the quality of life that you're going to need to have. So it's about now enriching people more than just giving them money. You know that whole saying, give a man a fish, or give him a rod and teach him how to fish. It's that analogy. So for the 54-year-old, he shouldn't be thinking of always trying to be the provider. He should be now looking at creating sustainable methods in lowering expenses, but also being sustainable for that time. The 28-year-old probably has a child, probably doesn't have a child, has parents who are working, maybe not working. His number one responsibility now is creating a structure that will take him from 28 to 30 to 35 to 40. So he has to grow his contribution set and what he can do in the family. Today, it's going to be 500 rand that will help out with groceries. It's going to help out with rent. Tomorrow, it's going to be about, I know that you're going to be aging and there are going to be costs that are going to be coming. So, Mama, Papa, let's get you a life cover. You understand? Now, I'm not trying to be Rosemary to kill you. I'm not. What I'm doing is, Mama and Papa, you've worked so hard for this home that you have.
Yeah.
All right. Your health also. Maybe you have medical aid, maybe you don't. But by me getting you a life cover that I'm paying as little as 250 rand,
Yeah.
I've secured one, and a future for me.
Sure.
I've secured two, the property that you call home that you've worked so hard for, that it doesn't get absorbed by death taxes.
Yeah.
Doesn't get taken by the bank if there's still debts associated to it. I've got you covered.
Yeah.
Now, you see, there's different structures in how
Sure.
you can do these things,
Sure.
and it's still seen as a black tax, but you've restructured it differently for the different stages in life that you're in. You understand?
Yeah.
I always believe, just how you brush your teeth, not because you're going to be kissing someone new every day, because it's a practice of
Yeah.
hygiene.
Sure.
Yeah.
In finances, there's a practice that's called practicing your financial muscle. You got to keep practicing it, flexing it.
Powerful.
So that's kind of how I would tackle those two people.
Yeah, yeah.
So both of them would see an advisor, or
Yeah.
both of them would see someone that's got to do with their 10-year, 5-year, 20-year plan.
Yeah.
Because there's pre-retirement planning for the 54-year-old and post-retirement planning.
Sure.
And then for the 28-year-old, there's pre-start your planning with your pre-retirement planning,
Yeah.
along with looking at your needs, your goals that you want.
Yeah.
Remember this, guys. Begin with the end in mind. It helps you put your best foot forward.
Yes, I love that. Begin
Yeah.
with the end in mind. I love
mind,
that. I love
yeah.
it. But on top of the steps that you just mentioned, are there more steps that families can take to also honor the black tax obligations, while still building wealth, for retirement? Because I love how you just mentioned the different life journeys and life steps that we're in. But are there practical steps, like you mentioned, Mo asked about apps and things of that nature when it comes to technology. But as steps, I have a brother who is a 36-year-old. I'm a 20-year-old, 28-year-old. I have a younger sister who is in high school, is going to matric, or is in matric, and matric dance and things of that nature. What are some of the steps that we can sit down in a very healthy way and implement those steps as a family? Mama, now, like you just mentioned, you're getting to a certain age, or maybe you're no longer working, COVID. What are some of those steps that we can implement as families? Because I'm sure there's someone who's listening out there. I have a 5-year-old. I have an older brother who's in varsity. I have this, that, and the other. Maybe even come to you as to get those advices and those steps.
So I always go back to the openness, the transparency part, because that's a very big thing. It's very easily said, but very rarely done.
Yeah.
Transparency around, okay, so there's kids, young kids in the family. So let's say we are siblings. So the three of us are brothers, okay? And between the three of us as brothers, there are 3 kids. We each have 1 child.
Sure.
All right? All three of us know that while we are growing older and building this thing called life, we're not at the same financial life stages.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there's one thing for certain, that we're going to live and we're going to die. So in between that, we need to build what we call reserves for our family, for our generation. So there has to be what we call an education fund for your family or for the kids.
Oh, wow.
All right, whether you have kids or don't have kids, call it your tithe, call it your contribution towards the family. There are kids that are going to need to go to school.
Yeah.
That is a given, because that is the future. Because when they hit a certain age, as Malume, what did you really do to help sustain them to be the way they are? Or as auntie, so that's the first thing that I always say. Let's start putting away funds for kids, our kids, or the family's kids in growth. Now, speaking of that, we need to also be realistic when we say we're putting away money. Whether it's 50 Rand, whether it's 100 Rand, whether it's 200 Rand, just understand inflation. 50 Rand today can't be 50 Rand in 5 years.
Yeah.
Understand that. Because a lot of people have come to me and said, these education policies don't work because, I've been putting this 50 Rand in, and come pay date, which is 10 years, 20 years time, I can only pay for the registration cost, let alone textbooks or whatever like that. And that's because inflation was never factored in. If I put the same 10 Rand for bread 20 years ago, today I won't be able to buy bread because it's 20 Rand now for bread. So it's the same thing, and this which goes by every year. Just like the family has a reunion, we must also have a financial reunion.
Powerful.
Let's link up and talk about the things that we want to achieve and the things that are being a burden to us.
Yeah.
Your problem is not just your problem if you're in this family. It's our problem.
It's our problem. Yeah.
But we also need to be able to differentiate, because if you're the problem, it's not our problem. We need to be able to be clear and being honest with each other. So to bring those two things together, transparency and coming together as a family to talk about not money problems in jail, but also plans, aspirations that we would like to move forward with. And you see, in these examples, I never spoke about any rand values, because I could be talking to an entry level, I could be talking to a middle class, I could be talking to a high end. I just need you to understand there's principles, there's rules around this. If you follow those guidelines, I promise you, things like black tax, things like burdens won't be a thing. Because when you don't talk about it, you get angry now, because every time it's payday, you think everyone else is getting paid, because you're the provider. We need to change that way.
Everyone else is getting paid.
Let's invite Nomi right now.
Quick one. So our topic for today is culture, right? We're speaking all things culture. Now, I've heard you mention the word transparency numerous times. Now, culturally, in the black household, there's this thing of hiding money, where our parents are not transparent on how much they earn, because they don't want us to know how much they earn. And then it goes to us as well, as young professionals. When we start working, we're hiding our salary from our parents. We don't want to be transparent as to how much we are earning. How do we break that so that we are all, transparent on how much we are earning, so that we can build this generational wealth that everybody wants to build through transparency? Because sometimes you find one is contributing 10%. Speaking about black tax, it's two young professionals in a house, and then one's only contributing 5%, whereas he's making more money than the younger sister, and the younger sister's probably contributing 60%, because we're hiding how much we are making. So how do we go about breaking those?
I actually had this discussion with the family that I'm doing planning with about a week ago, where there's 4 siblings. They all each earn different incomes. They are basically taking care of their parents or household expenses and their policies. And there was a topic about why are we splitting it 4 ways on expenses when we don't all earn the same income. And I basically said it's because you're all 4 ways going to earn from the 2 million policy that pays out on death, or the assets that are going to be given to you. If you have an issue on contribution based on your earning, then we're going to have to alter your beneficiary set for the time being. Unless you have family relatives that are willing to take the weight, because they understand that maybe you just started working out. And we understand these things. But we also need to understand that if it's going to be 10 years that you're still making it up, but you're getting 50% or 20% or an equal share, but your contribution input is not the same, that's where really going to where the fights are going to start. It's just not going to work out in that best way. And when we talk about transparency on income, guys, I don't need you to tell people your income. I really don't. I just need people to understand your responsibilities and your obligations, so that they know that this person is not just sitting on money like Donald Duck. There are things I need to do, and these are what I need to do. That's the transparency part I'm talking about. The only transparent when it comes to income that I'm going to be with is with my financial advisor, with my wife, and with my banker. Those are the people that they need to know how much I earn and what I do with the money. But in terms of transparency, I'm talking about now what I'm doing. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? So should we be evenly splitting it, or according to our contribution set, and then we can revise it? That's why the annual review on your finances comes in, because what is today may not be tomorrow. So we talk about it. And I know our siblings, hey, man,
it's hard, Chief. It's hard. Not easy.
But I think the best way to tell you is that, Chief, have the uncomfortable conversation while it's good. Because when people are mourning and there's loss, there's no rationality there.
It's all emotion.
There's no rationality.
All emotion.
Yeah.
Very powerful, man. Before we let you go, we know right now festive is creeping in.
Yes.
And
so talk as a subshire. Every day is every day, Chief. Every day is every day.
I mean, festive is creeping in. Some people are even starting to dip into their savings, right? And now people with the deals that we see from our retail stores, because Sato Tutimali again 50% off,
Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday, 50% off from the deals. How do we avoid, being lured by those deals? Because now you had financial goals to say on February, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because we know that now we are going into this path, which is called the dark path called December.
Sure.
Right? So a lot of people don't survive this path, this tunnel, right? And then when they come out, which is Jan, now they start complaining to say, guys, you saw I had to patch there and there, right? Because they were insensitive. So now how does one sit down with themselves, right? Bonuses, they come in, they click in, they don't become, insensitive, they don't become impulsive with their finances. How do one sit down with themselves and talk to themselves? Or do I need to have a financial advisor at that given time whereby my mind is going crazy with the amount of money that I have and I have plans for next year?
Yeah. You know what, now? I like analogies. When you're sick, you don't go and book an appointment with a doctor and then sit and says, Doc, I've got bronchitis, a little bit of water in the lungs, might be pneumonia, so I'm going to need this. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You really don't do that.
The doctor's the one who analyzes.
Doctor says, cough for me. He examines you and checks where's the problem. So if you can't identify that you're the problem, there's the problem. There's the problem there. If you that guy that knows that on the 25th, yeah. 25, but in your head you've spent 30, you've got a problem.
Sure.
Spending before you've received it, that's already you got a plan to play. You can't play and then plan. There's the realities on this. So let's talk about December, Buffett.
Yeah.
December is a hot 2 months. It's not 30 days. It's a hot 2 months.
2 months in year, it's 3 months and a half.
Because think about it, and this whole Black Friday discussion also, I sat down and looked at the sales marketing around it, and I'm like, it's amazing. They know that, okay, the last... they used to do one day being Black Friday. And it was just too much. Internets were crashing, websites were crashing. So it's Black Month,
November.
So they know because you're gonna get paid in December the 15th or the 10th, very early, so that you can do your Christmas shopping, which is Black Friday shopping. You can do all the stuff, and then when are you gonna get paid again? January when?
Yeah.
The 20th or the 25th, the 25th or the 30th. So all of your bad decisions, and they pay you early, are happening in a festive time.
Yeah.
So what I can tell you really, really nicely is that before you get paid, set down your plan to be like, what needs to happen? We know those who have parents, those who have kids, that uniforms, school shoes, stationery is going to need to be bought.
Yeah.
We know that there's going to be a family lunch at Christmas. And do you want to be the one who's eating but not contributing? So have your contribution set right now. You know what I mean? We know for a fact that there are going to be extra prize than the normal 11 months that we're in.
Yes.
So and I'm being realistic now. Let's go and look at specials. Friday Friday specials start coming out, but let's start looking at specials now and be like, you know what, Nam? Instead of buying the 6, 24 is actually cheaper
now, sure.
And then I can space my 6 for the next 4 weeks. 6 this week, 6 this.
Sure.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just thinking about like bulk buying. By is also from a perishable items is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Your bonus is about to come. You're going to see the special cabbage. You're going to see all these things that can go off in 2 weeks if not refrigerated or if not stored correctly, and that's money that you'll be throwing away.
Yeah.
So it's all those things that we need to start taking into consideration.
Yeah.
Looking at bulk purchasing, if it's canned foods, things like that, meat that can be refrigerated, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the typical way umuntu would spend imali. There's also going to be on the road extra trips and all of that. Guys,
I'm a road trip.
Let's pull together. And say, guys, this is my journey for this week.
Yeah.
If you're going this way, let's go together. Or if you're not relieved, let's be realistic. Because the roads are going to be extra packed. People are going to Devon. That's also another thing. Don't plan your trips when everybody is planning trips.
Yes.
January is cheaper. December, be a family man, be home, or something. Go on holiday in Jan, or go on holiday when it's not holiday time.
Yes.
Will it mean pulling the kids a little bit away from school or starting school late? Yes, but you'll save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Don't follow the sheep. Don't follow the herd.
You'll be misled. The blind leading the blind.
Siyathatha le mali yamalobola mfethu. No, umduduzi commented guys. Thatha le mali yamalobola. Soyipupudla December. No, there's nothing wrong with so what January, man. No, I'm kidding, man. But yeah, I love some of these things because it's very practical things that we see every December. Every December, the last 2 weeks of November, the black tax advertisements start bombarding us on social media, on TV, mass media, and things of that nature. Come that day, we tend to overspend. On 50 rand, it's 150. And you know very well that you don't have it. But wait till you want TV. It's cheap, wait. And no, because you didn't plan for it, like you mentioned, you know. So, yeah, man, I love all of these things that you mentioned. And we look forward to having more conversations like these ones.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it too.
Absolutely. You know, it's about giving people a whole lot of information and knowledge. Bringing people forth to the light. Guys, don't fall for these traps. Don't think it's for high-earned people, like you just mentioned, or it's for a certain racial group. You know, because you say, "Hey, no, guys, we need to start now, breaking all these very toxic ways of going about our finances. Like Unomi just mentioned, you know, but everybody never feel like channel to go more betting more. How we some matrasi, haibo, 150k, you know, such things. So we need to break those cycles, man. Yes,
definitely.
Sir.
Yeah, very man. Financial wellness on a Tuesday. Lastly, if people want to get in contact with you, where can they find you?
Guys, find me on TikTok. It's Mtutu Talks TikTok or The Liberty Guy. And on Instagram, it's Mtutu Talks. I am also on pretty much YouTube, so you can follow me on YouTube. I'm actually going to start reposting the Vooka stuff. So definitely.
Yeah.
And to get a hold of me via my cell phone number, I'm sure you guys, 061-629-7101. Drop me a DM if you say Vooka. I know exactly where you're coming from. I would love to help you. Let's get you ready for this December.
Absolutely.
Let's start 2026 on a good note, and let's get paid, Buffett.
Absolutely.
Indeed,
absolutely.
man. And thank you so much, man, for your time. Hoping to see you once again to speak everything finance.
Definitely.
It is a subject that we need to talk about each and every month, right?
Definitely.
Because there are financial dynamics that we always come across.
Drill it in.
With that being said, let us take a short break, man, and then when we come back, we will close it off with some of the celebrity birthdays or some people that you know that are growing up. So please don't switch the dial. Good vibes is what we continue to bring you on this beautiful Tuesday morning. And the question still stands, who are you choosing? Right, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show is the hashtag to use. 26 minutes past 10, it's the timer. And of course, man, that is where we are going to leave you. But before we do that, some interesting things we did not cover, in which we are going to right now. Okay. Right, I don't know.
When is your birthday? No?
When is your birthday?
Oh, 1st of March.
Pisces.
Okay, yeah. I see you.
Okay.
Yeah. Talking about birthdays, who are we celebrating today? Everyone's crush.
Yeah.
From the Titanic.
And we're talking about him, Izolo, and like the character that he is and how he can portray, different accents. Mm-hmm. Because from watching him from the Killers of the Flower Moon, when he speaks that, deep English from back in the days, from the 1860s, even in Django, Rory, those kind of things. This man has been a legend.
Who are we talking about? You are wondering. Today we are celebrating Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not trying to be fancy with the accents. It is Leonardo DiCaprio's 51st birthday, and his rise to fame was as an American actor and film producer known for his work in biographical and period films. He is a recipient of numerous accolades, including Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, and 3 Global Globe Awards. Interesting facts, as of 2019, his films have grossed over $7.2 billion worldwide, and he has been placed 8 times in annual rankings of world's highest paid actors.
Favorite movie by Leonardo?
I'm caught between Django and Inception.
Inception, man.
Yeah, I'm caught between Django and Inception.
Yeah.
Because you know me, Mo, I'm big on movies. But I don't think I've actually watched too many Leonardo movies, or movies that he's in. But I know there's one that's not really that well known by a lot of people. He did not a spin-off, but like a Shakespeare, what do you call that thing? The Montagues and what's that Shakespeare novel, man? The famous one,
Romeo and Juliet.
He did that.
Yeah.
But he was in his younger days. He was younger. Yeah. So that one was also good. But there's also that one more. Where there's a house and it's a psych ward or something like that. I forget the name of that movie, but not too many movies that I've watched where Leonardo is a part of. But Django, Inception for me, those.
Have you watched Blood Diamond?
Yes.
I think you're not Blood Diamond.
Yes.
But I have. I don't know. Blood Diamond didn't really do it for me, so I watched half and I stopped.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. You favorite movies? You?
From him, I think the top 2 is the Killers of the Flower Moon and Django by Leonardo. Titanic.
Nah, I'm not a watcher of movies. I don't even know what movies you guys are talking about. Yes.
You watched Titanic, right?
In fact, today we are celebrating Singles Day, but another Golden Globe awardee, as well as highest paid actress. Today we're also celebrating Demi Jean Moore, who was born on the 11th of November 1962, which means she is celebrating her 63rd birthday today. What is her rise to fame, you wonder? Well, she is an American actress, and after rising to prominence in the early 1800s or 1980s, she became the world's highest paid actor by the year 1995. Her accolades include Golden Globe Award, a Screen Actors Guild Award, nominations for an Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, as well as Primetime Emmy Award. Interesting facts about her: in 2025, which is this year, she appeared in Time's 100 most influential people in the world's list, and received a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame 2026. There's also someone in South Africa who received a star in the Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, very interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting stuff, man.
I'm sure you seeing me with my coats, right? It's because it's cold outside and I'm single. And today we are celebrating
Singles Day.
Singles Day.
Mo, are you single? But we spoke
Am
about
I?
you stepping up.
Am I?
You stepped up.
The question is here.
Are you single?
Am I single? Yes, I am single.
Well, 11/11 is when we celebrate Singles Day annually. It originated in China as a light-hearted holiday for single people, but it has obviously evolved into the world's biggest and largest online shopping event. The date was chosen because 4 ones, 11/11, 1111, symbolize solo individuals.
Yeah.
And it began in the 1990s at Nanjing University as a celebration of self-love and independence. E-commerce giant Alibaba commercialized it in 2009, turning it into a global retail phenomenon with flash sales, live streams, and billions in revenue. Today, Singles Day blends personal empowerment with consumer excitement, spreading beyond China to influence shopping trends worldwide.
Are you single, Mfundo?
I mean, more than dating, I feel like this speaks about shopping.
Mfundo, are you single?
We are blowing it out of proportion.
Are you single? Are you?
I can confirm I am single.
With
are
no
single.
fear of contradiction whatsoever.
No
Not fear of
conflict.
That you are single.
I ngamagama ID I nomfundo
The-
Khosa umkabayi ngamakhosazana confirm on this live episode of Vooka Breakfast Show that I am single
Asazi.
and
Aye,
not
Go follow Mfundo, please. Abuti, yeka umushebile now.
I mean, is it single by choice or single because of
single by choice.
ulahliwe?
Definitely.
Or circumstance.
Yeah,
Or yini
situation.
awushelo Mfundo
Both
mhlawumbe. Mfundo yini na?
both circumstance and choice. Yes.
So circumstance.
Circumstance being the fact that I am not being approached.
Yeah.
I'm in
Hayi,
that
kanjani?
dry-
Lebo Khotobejane. I see you there.
No, not
Hayi,
even. I'm in that dry era in my life where no one's asking me out. I don't know what's wrong.
Guys, please give
No one is
Mfundo
shooting their
Mfundo.
shots.
I'm
can't tell
actually
Nomfundo,
shady,
guys.
I've even stopped putting on makeup at this point. I'm just like, nah.
You can tell Nomfundo, guys, we will make a thing here on the Vooka Breakfast Show
Guys.
that Nomfundo gets asked out on a date.
Yeah.
We'll bring you
What
3
do
eligible
we call it,
bachelors.
man?
We'll bring Nomfundo Machita
Or
Italy.
Find my-
maybe we should have a
person.
competition like that. Win a date with Naomi P. I believe I'm an interesting character, guys. I
Okay.
could
Yeah.
last an hour. I could entertain you for an hour.
Hi, wena.
Entertainment.
Entertain. Guys, Alfred show. Arasa shela Nomfundo, kita shela Nomfundo. Entertain.
Personality is bold.
right?
Yeah.
We are entertained with Nomfundo.
So I'm celebrating myself single.
Okay.
By
Very
being single.
Also by choice.
Yeah. Not
Because-
by.
Is it choice because of
situation or-
circumstance?
No, you know what, ne? I am in a place in my life where I just want to sort my life out first
Yeah.
before being with someone. I've found myself. I've been looking for myself. Finally, I know what I want. I know the woman that I want to be, but I'm just sorting out my finances and stuff like that because I'm a relationship visa.
Let Bob the Builder come and help you.
But also, do you guys think I'm strict?
Strict.
Yeah.
You don't strike me as someone
Do you
who
think I'm
is
strict?
strict.
I don't
When
know.
it comes
I
to
haven't-
relationships and
I
stuff
don't
like
know. I
that.
haven't experienced
Like
you.
from our conversations, do you think I expect too much?
I think
The weirdest thing happened this week, and I don't know how to react to it.
what happened?
A guy approached me, and this is, I don't know, it's a Joburg thing because I've never experienced it in KZN.
Yeah.
He approached me and he's like, listen, I want us to have a thing. We are not going to put a name to it. And this thing of ours, there's no strings attached.
Okay.
Nkulunkulu wami, I was so offended. Never have I ever been so mad. If I had a stick, God forbid, bengizomshaya ingozi, because I was like, a whole me, no strings attached. You call me whenever you need. He's like, I'm gonna call you whenever I need you.
Yeah.
You're gonna call me whenever you need me, and there is nothing to it.
Welcome to Joburg.
Guys, is this how you do things in Joburg? Like straight to the
No, but you
point.
guys, you girls, actually, I'm sorry, guys. I know it's not gonna. A lot of people are not gonna agree with me on this
Yeah.
one. Right?
Yeah.
Girls will go on social media and make noise more. Yeah, no, stop this thing of approaching us and saying, hi, how are you doing?
Get
Get straight to the point.
Get straight
Tell
to
me
the
what
point.
you want.
A guy comes to you approaches you, hi, my name is Mang Mang, who are you? I'm Nomfundo. Look, man, yeah, I want this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Straight to the point. So, you're offended.
You know what? I wish Manele was here because he was actually, because I thought to myself, maybe it's that episode we did, No Mosi, where I said I prefer a guy who shoots straight and tells me exactly. So I'm not even sure, like at this point, yes, I'm being a girl. Yes, on that episode, maybe if we can put it up, I did say, I need you to be a straight shooter. No, but not like that. Musi.
Was he offensive?
It was.
Okay, so no. Was he offensive, or did you find offensive what he said?
Yeah, I found offense in what he said, and it's with so much conviction and so much confidence that he said it. It's like, yeah, no strings attached. You don't call me. We only call each other when we need each other. We don't put a name to it. I'm like, boy, you think a whole me, this whole girl, only when she.
I mean, did you have like a certain way in your mind that you wanted him to say it? Because there are people who say, I'm an Islam family guy. So I prefer
it's not even in for me. I'm just not that type of girl. And I told him, I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to decline your offer because I'm not that girl. One thing about me, I am a strings attached girl. Yeah, I'm a strings.
You know, this also ties to what we were talking about, different cultures, because we set cultures, right? Because Mina, right now, if I'm with a group of friends, if we are thinking about maybe Ugyoshela or looking for girls, like, okay, Ntwana, what is the best place to go to when you look for girls? For us, it's like, Joburg girls want money. So I think rural girls, are the best option to go for.
I'm a rural girl, and this week I realized that I'm so one traditional, and so I'm so, because you know what I did after that? I got home ngafaka iphinisa. Ngayibuka sibuka ngathi imanzi enje, imanzi ngayibuka ngathi hey, I'm a girl ngiphelele intombi ezishumi ngingeda. For you to say no strings attached.
No strings attached.
No, like guys, why are we putting like
guys mangqoka iphinifa ngashaya umnqwazo.
So you're a different character when
not even character, but like nje
muphinifa lemunqwazo
where I see myself.
I don't want strings,
listen,
man.
I'm this woman.
No, mangufonela ngo 8 o'clock ngithi I'm requesting for you, come through.
It's as simple as that.
9 I'm gone. There's no. And the last conversation is, did you get home safely? Yes.
Yes.
And then
sharp.
2 weeks.
Good night.
Hey, in 2 weeks time, Luana Mfonela Musi, where are you, bro? I'm not feeling good.
I'm no strings attached. I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. Like,
so you see, I think maybe this is a conversation we should have more. Someday. What do we want as individuals, especially when it comes to the boy-girl dynamics, or just the dynamics of dating, right? If I go on it, you and I are dating. We're not mutually exclusive. We're not.
Last week we were talking about soul ties. We were talking about body counts. Unnecessary soul ties, unnecessary body counts. I don't
stop
need that.
reading too much into it.
No, I want
let's
a
go,
relationship.
Bona. Let's go to. What's the thing? Let's go to the pantry, grab a glass of milk with
fine.
pancakes.
After you've left the pantry, I'm going to send you a text. Did you arrive home safely?
Thank you, I did. I appreciate it.
The morning after, good morning, babe.
Baby,
good morning, babe.
I can put
if we want to meet again, we will talk. Let's talk when we meet. It's as simple as that.
Let's just say I'm not that girl to have that conversation with. Try another
girl. You are not that girl.
Then you're contradicting yourself in saying that you want a straight shooter, because a straight shooter came,
And so what do you want? What do you want?
So for
because sometimes the things that we want, they do change.
I guess
we overgrow.
Changed over the
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Changed over
2 weeks ago, guys, I want a straight shooter. There was this young boy who was coming to me. Now
whatever I say. Also, men must stop taking whatever whatever I say on this podcast, on this audio-visual show,
platform.
and this platform, and then use it against me.
We're not using it
Because
against
when
you.
I
Oh,
said
that's what
I
you said.
wanted-
Doing exactly what you said.
But guys, when I
it's
said
not
I
a
wanted
weapon
a straight
formed
shooter,
against
I
you.
didn't say I was looking for no strings attached. I feel like throughout my presence here at Vooka, I've always made it known. ukuthi I'm a person who believes in love, believes in soulmates, believes in
We
soul
get that.
ties and
We
stuff
get
like that.
that.
So you can't come then and approach me based on the fact that I said I wanted a straight shooter.
Yeah.
A straight shooter, someone who says, "Mama, ngikubonile ngakuthanda."
Ate mama.
I mean, to that guy, I'm a strings, because we don't define the strings in the same way. For him, it's like maybe strings attached. It's you texting every day, calling every day, being clean.
Yabona nje, if
I am.
sizokwazana
Yeah.
ingale, then we have to be in a relationship.
Relationship. It's Singles Day. We are single, man.
I mean,
We
we're
are single. I'm
exploring.
single. We are
these
here.
You will stop being single that
No,
night.
we are single
That
together.
night,
No.
you are no longer single.
Mfundo,
Me, I will
uhlelela,
send you a
ngihlelela.
text,
We are single.
paragraph.
For ini.
people. Ooh,
Musi, I
I
don't like what you did. I don't like how you spoke to me.
Strings attached.
The last time I checked, you and I were in a relationship.
Angeke.
Yeah.
Angeke. Khohlwa.
So nje, I don't like how you
Khohlwa.
spoke.
The thing, Mina, I think I understand. I'm not saying I understand the guy, but we have seen what labels do, right? Mina nawe, we are free, you know.
Mina, guys-
Immediately when there's a label, things change now. Everything goes south, and umuntu they start reacting in different ways that you did not expect them to act or react, right? So let us not put a label on it. Maybe if those strings were not attached, if time goes by, they will be attached,
Okay,
right?
Mo, I agree with you partially to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Let's not put a title to it.
Yeah.
But also, musuk tata advantage. Don't take advantage. Yes, it's okay not to put a thing to say, okay, it's a relationship. We're getting to know each other.
Yes.
But getting to know each other does not mean in the bedroom. Getting to know each other, we are going out on dates, we are going on movies, going out with our friends, sometimes spending time alone, yes. But we are not going there. You can't get to know me there and then say no strings attached. So
the body is the one that credits or the one that qualifies the strings are now attached.
Mina, even without
going that side.
even without that, Nje, the mere fact that you're spending your time with me, because my love language, we're speaking about love languages on Underground, my love language is quality time. So you can't say you've been spending quality time with me and then next thing, no strings attached, when I've been cancelling my appointments just to be with you.
Let's take some time to explore what is, quality time, because for me, as a guy, who is trying to make more sense, like, okay, that is your love language. Let me learn how to, understand your love language. You say it's quality time. I mean, your quality time is my time being compromised. I need to have time for you, right? Because when you want time, quality time, at that given moment,
the minute you look at it like that means that you don't love spending time with me, because for you to say
we are finding ways.
Compromising
we are
your
finding
time.
ways to
I'm single. Asibe single It's Singles Day guys. 11/11/2025.
Then I guess I will remain single till 11/11 of 2026.
My strings come with bad omen.
Let's be single. No, babe. Single. Right.
Guys, I almost cried. You know that. He's looking me right in the eye, and I was like, the audacity for you to approach me and say you want a no strings attached relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I'm shooting straight.
Guys, Gabanda, I'm getting a call.
If
when
you
it was
don't like it,
2 days ago, you didn't
don't cry. Don't cry. If you don't like it, I get you tell the guy. I'm not a person who am no strings attached. Say it. Tell him. Right? It's as simple as that. But Singles Day, we are going to explore that on what is it. But
on a specific day.
Yeah, exploring and celebrating one's individual. And a lot more can be found, of course, on our social media platforms.
Yes, sir.
Vooka Breakfast Show. Anything last on your mind that
As
you want
we're
to share?
talking about Singles Day, Mo, just before we close off, today we're actually celebrating 175 episodes.
Woo!
And with 175 episodes,
let's go.
It also marks that there are 315 days into the year.
Let's go,
right?
guys.
Remaining with only 50 days, guys.
We fought.
It's only 50 days left. Yes.
We fought.
Summer body, yeah.
Hey,
Too late.
50 days, bro. Are you one of those people who can summer body? December. I
can still do the 13-day military diet.
Do you think it will work?
Military diet. Uzo.
Come on, 50 days. Best you are 50 days. Best you are Alright, guys. So we're 350 days in, celebrating 175 episodes today on a Tuesday morning, the 11th of November 2025. It also marks that there are only 6 weeks remaining until the end of the year. You heard the Mzansi advisor, the Liberty guy, guys. Very, very cool stuff. And just to close it off very quickly, let me give you the word of the day on a Tuesday morning, right? Because I haven't done that in a good second. And hi, Bo, get the technology. Yeah, the word for today, Mr. Mo, on a Tuesday morning is tautology. The word is tautology, and I'm sure you've heard this word before, right? And what this word means is that it the definition or the meaning of the word tautology is saying the same thing twice in different words, redundant or circular speech. All right? Saying the same thing twice in different words. It is redundant speech. How you can use this word in a sentence is as follows. His speech was full of tautology, repeating the obvious with grand flair.
Yeah.
His speech was full of tautology, repeating the obvious with grand flair. Similar words include redundancy, repetition, and circularity. Larity, So talk to me, tautology. How would you use it in a sentence, Mr. Mo?
I mean, what sentence can you say that has tautology?
I would say I dislike it when people use tautology unintentionally. For example, revert back.
Oh, yes.
To me.
You're right.
Because revert means coming back to me.
Yes.
So you can't say revert back to me. So that's tautology I dislike.
I'm single because being single is the most important thing, and me drinking a single malt makes me feel to be single.
But use the word tautology.
No, I am being tautology.
Using tautology.
Tautology.
I see you.
I
see you. Very
just giving an example of what it means, because we sometimes you find ourselves whereby you're explaining something to someone when you are scared, you're not aware that you are repeating the same thing, because
it means
I was there and I came back and he was there, we were there, and only to find out that we were supposed to be there, but it's like no, relax, my brother.
Also, another thing, Kuba, like I used to say revert back all the time, simply because I heard other people saying revert back. Until I started like saying, wait a minute,
what does the word revert mean?
I'll revert to you instead of I'll revert back to you.
Very interesting stuff. Right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, we always try to give you words that are aimed at improving both yours and our day-to-day spoken languages, our speech patterns, and of course, ultimately, our vocabulary. And today, the word of the day on the 11th of November 2025, the word is tautology. Talk to us. How would you use this word in a sentence? Because you know the conversation doesn't only end here, continues across all our social media platforms using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. As I was not here yesterday, I just want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Mo, to Mpotau Memtao. Memtao is a grade 3 educator at Glenanda Primary.
Wow.
Right? And yesterday on the 10th of November, she was celebrating her birthday. I'm not too sure if she would love for me or she would appreciate me saying her age, right?
What's her age?
No, man.
We are singing.
A woman's age.
We are singing.
There we go. As you're seeing Mem Tao right now on the screen, man. Mem Tao was celebrating her birthday yesterday.
She's definitely 22, bro.
Is she 22?
Yeah, she's definitely 22.
1920 there.
Guys, Mem Tao is, she's going to laugh when she hears this. Money Tuna 22, Mem Tao. So last night, we just had like a nice meal with friends, at her place, a couple of drinks, and she was showing us some of the gifts that the kids brought to her or brought for her. So there was like a box of Ferrero Rocher chocolates, and then there were letters. She said one kid like bought perfume for her or something like that.
No one brought a weird thing. I mean, these kids open,
Yeah,
you
ne?
know.
Nah, they
Like
didn't-
hamster,
they
for
didn't buy
example.
weird stuff, man. They didn't buy weird stuff. So part of the gifts that she got, they wrote letters, you know, and most of them were saying, "Oh, for your trip to Dubai, Mem Tao, here's a passport." They made passport. It was so cute, man. Some of the messages that she got in the gift pack, man. So it was
Kids will
very
make
cool
your
to
day,
see.
man.
So
Yeah.
a huge happy belated birthday to Mem Tao, man. I really hope that the day was amazing and the rest of the month will be great and filled with love, laughter, and all things amazing. So from the Vooka Breakfast Show, from us right here as the Vooka Nation, as the Vooka team, to everyone who's celebrating their birthdays today or who has celebrated their birthdays in the past couple of days, we would love to say
Happy birthday!
Woohoo! Beautiful, man.
Nomi, anything from your side?
Ma'am.
I gotta get to you. I got Mem Tao, Miss Tao.
Don't settle for less. For the guys that want no strings attached, I'm not your
You're not
Bislana. Bislana.
Ooh, get out of Mem Tao.
Mem knows.
Mem Nomi. Mem Poswa. Miss Poswa.
Yes, I think now you guys need to call me that so that these people
Memposwa.
can take me seriously.
Yeah, the trip.
Aye.
How was it to?
Oh,
KZN?
guys, my daughter's so gorgeous. She's a superstar in the making. I'm glowing. Like
Yeah,
I've been
because of
glowing
her.
all week.
Yeah, it's Pluto Sakesiches.
Yeah.
She's got a twa.
Yeah.
Teeny weeny afro.
And then
teeny
he
weeny
went and
afro.
asked me, why is she suddenly a yellow bone? It's the colors. It's the bright colors. Stick to the colors that complement your skin tone.
Your skin tone.
And they
yeah.
get shisa
yellows-
kwazulu.
The yellows will make you
She's
pop. It will
yellow,
make you feel like a yellow bone.
Tana kumele abe mnyama.
Aye, man. Aye, man.
Adlalelangi.
Shine off if it
Visi acha lomntana, man. Visi lomntana acha yolala, man.
I'm actually so glad I went home.
Yeah.
It was so refreshing. I love KZN. Also,
Yeah.
I've realized how much I am loved back home.
At home, yeah.
There's a lot of people that are actually watching the show, expecting me to do big things in Joburg. So now I know I'm not here just for myself.
Yep.
I've got a whole
You're
tribe of
representing
people
now.
that are rooting for me. So
Shout out.
shout out
Nice
to
one.
Zuma.
KZN.
KZN.
Wantuzuma.
Yeah, I mean,
Eh,
we're going to learn the culture.
eh,
Wantuzu.
eh.
Entuzuma.
No.
Hayibo. Entuzuma.
Yes.
Hayi sanibona phela lapho kwaNtuzuma.
Let's
Siphuma la phela kwegoli thina.
Should we
Sidlama.
do show kaSizulu
So,
one day?
so guys, I'll buy you Ferrero Rocher if you can spell it.
What?
Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, I'll
Spell
buy
what?
you know,
Ferrari.
the chocolate
Ferrero
layer.
Rocher.
Ferrero
I know
Rocher.
Rocher, I think should be
Ah,
R-O-C-H.
Can I spell it? Because I want it. Ferrero C-H-E.
Ha, Roch.
Rocher.
Ferrero Rocher.
I
Rocher
deserve
uno
it.
S-C-H. It's a Rocher. It's a Rocher.
I missed my opportunity.
I will tell them Ferrero Rocher.
Ngiyabona bazothini kwaNtuzuma manje. Bazothini kwaNtuzuma manje.
Instead of asking me for no strings attached, how about you buy me a Ferrero
A
Rocher?
Ferrari.
Ferrari Rocher.
Ngicela ungithengele iFerrari hayibo uyazi iFerrari malini.
Anyway, guys, from us, right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, for myself, the one and only MOOCEE, must have been happy. I've been excited to have been in your presence and in your company. At least my mood is slightly better now because of you as the Vooka Nation, who is absolutely the most important ingredient on a day-to-day basis, as we always give you a daily dose of positivity that is accompanied by an energetic start to the day. Tomorrow morning, same time, same place, as we talk all things knowing your rights, all things comedic, because we try to break that mid-week slump. And from myself, MOOCEE Mist. My name is Musi Mist. I can't wait to be in your presence again. And we continue having all-encompassing, compelling, of course, thought-provoking conversations. Keep warm, keep safe, stay cautious on those roads because it's raining and it's slippery. And God willing, you and I and Nomi and Mr. Mo and Mr. B can see each other bright and early. Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Ferrero Rocher ends with an R at the end. But anyways, for me, Nomi P, Umkabai, Kamakusazana, it is goodbye. God bless. Stay safe. Don't do things that I wouldn't do in
I
this
will.
cold weather.
Yeah,
What did you
from me,
do?
Mweketi Maimane, aka Max for maximum temperature. I am the son of Mother
Hosinam
Nature.
Tlakase.
Hosinam Tlakase Reberekisa generator. And Wantuzuma. Clock it.
Clock it. Vooka Sisi.
Clock it.